Summon Sign is brought to you by you. If you want to learn how to support our show, go to patreon.com/laststandmedia. Hello everyone, welcome to episode 40 of Summon Sign, Last Stand Media's weekly in-depth gaming discussion podcast. I'm your host, as always, Brad Ellis. Joining me only this week is my unofficial, might as well make it official, co-host, Gene Park. Gene, how are you doing, my friend?
Brad, it's good to see you. This is, I believe this is our second Summon Sign where it's just us. And last week we just did Punching Up because Michael wasn't feeling great either. So yeah, the LSM community has been getting a lot of just Brad and Gene
I know.
lately. You didn't ask for it, but here it is.
I know, we apologize.
Yeah.
Maddie was supposed to be on the episode, but I think he got food poisoning or something, so he cannot make it, unfortunately. I think he ate some bad sushi.
Man, here's the thing. The only time I've ever had food poisoning is when I eat Subway sandwiches.
Oh, yeah.
And
Subway. Ugh.
yeah, like I'm not saying like Subway is good or too nasty, right? Because sometimes like you just gotta have a Subway sandwich. That's like the only thing around.
Sure.
Or sometimes you have a little craving. You want that gooey texture in the bread.
Yeah.
And it smells good when you pass by it. It's like, okay, well, that's bread, right? But then I always risk it every single time, and I'm because like it's been 3 times I've had food poisoning at Subway. Like that. So after the 3rd time, I definitely cut down like a lot of it. I'm just like I think I'm done. I'm gonna go to Jimmy John's or or somewhere else.
Yeah, somewhere else,
time,
dude.
Jeez.
Yeah, that was me.
Togo's. I love Togo's.
Dude, Togo's. I don't know. The one by me's gone.
Yeah, Togo's is huge in California. I used to eat that shit every day. The roasted turkey was so good. And the bread is so much better. And like the way they roast everything or they toast everything is so much better.
Yeah, it was much better than Subway. Yeah, Subway, I'm not a fan of at all. It's funny, you talk about getting food poisoning. That was me with Chipotle. I feel like Chipotle, I was rolling the dice every time I ate there. I would just get sick or something like that. I'm like, oh, it's good, but I don't want to get sick. So every time I eat at Chipotle, I'm very cautious.
That's rough. Chipotle is good too. Chipotle is better and higher quality than Subway for sure. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Just bad RNG or something. I don't know what the hell's going on there, but it is what it is. All right. Before we get in the show, everybody, please check us on patreon.com/laststandmedia if you'd like to support us. We greatly appreciate it. Leave us a rating on your podcast service of choice. Help us grow. Get us up there on the charts. I want us up higher. I must spread the saturation, global saturation, like Wesker would say. And you can get some merch at laststandmedia.store if you're interested. So check that out. All right, Gene, we got a quick little warm-up question. Oh, let me give you the rundown also, Gene.
Oh, yeah,
so you can have it.
What's going on today?
Let me post it for you. There we go. We got a quick warm-up from Dexterous Joe. What's up, Summon Crew? Or Summon Side Crew? Wanted to get a pulse check and see what games y'all have planned for the rest of the year. I, myself, have Silent Hill 2, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Dragon Quest 3, I think that's Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil RES 4, Dead Space, and Dragon Age Inquisition. Yes, you read that right. Played only the original on 360.
Okay.
With so many games and so little time, I'd love to hear what y'all are planning on playing for the rest of the year. Catch y'all at another boss store. Well, listeners, if you're listening during that whole email I was reading, Gene was just shaking his head thinking about all the games that he's gonna have to play, and I'm sweating thinking about all the games I have to play still, Gene. But let's start with you, man. What's on the docket for Gene Park?
Gosh, all right. Let me look up.
Getting out a list.
Yeah, I'm getting out the list right now. The problem is like Metaphor ReFantazio like looms.
Yeah,
and we could talk about that later, but there's news that it is as big as like Persona 5, which scares me because that makes me think, you know what, maybe I should finish Persona 5 Royal because I was halfway through.
Just do Metaphor, dude. Don't
power
even
through Metaphor. Yeah, okay.
Power through Metaphor. Just get through Metaphor first.
I might do that first, yeah, because yeah, like I'm never gonna get to Persona, right? And Metaphor, I don't need to finish Persona, obviously,
Right.
to go to
Yeah,
Metaphor. So, but yeah, so see, that makes it worse then if Metaphor is on the table, right?
Yeah.
That's tough. So I'm actually glad that Assassin's Creed Shadows was delayed. I do not have a review code for Silent Hill 2. So I think I'm going to be enjoying that along with everyone else on October 8th. I
Nice.
imagine that's going to be a really short game. I'm going to beat that. Going to beat that the weekend.
Yeah.
So that could be fun. What else? Super Mario Party Jamboree is not going to really take up too much space. I think a lot of it is going to be backlog stuff, especially since Assassin's Creed Shadow is gone. Dragon Age Veilguard. I don't know, man. I'm a little with Colin in that the trailers do nothing for me. Every single time the previews are good, and I do trust the previews. I'm not saying that I'm not gonna throw water on every other games journalist. For me, if every other games journalist says a game is good, it's probably gonna be pretty good. So. But I'm not really that excited for it because of what Colin said. Like, ooh, wizards and dragons and that he made fun of Dragon Age and on Sacred Symbols, and he just like, I'm kind of in the same place. I think I'm just kind of tired of like just regular fantasy,
Yeah. Well, you give Colin post-apocalyptic America or America in any ruined state, and he's all over that shit.
Yeah, or murderous lesbians, right? So,
yeah. Yes.
Dragon Quest 3 for sure. But dude. Yeah, I think a lot of it is like backlog stuff, mostly. What's on the backlog? I don't even remember, man. Starfield Shattered Space out today.
Oh, yeah. Are you gonna play that right away?
Yeah, I'm gonna play that. I should be getting a review code. I don't know why I don't have it yet right now.
Maybe they didn't send any out. I didn't see any reviews. I guess they could do release day. Yeah,
I was supposed to get it today on a release day. Today is a release day, right? So
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so I don't see it in my inbox right now, but yeah. Regardless, I plan to play that, and that's gonna be huge too.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. It's just definitely a lot of backlog stuff. I think, and right now I'm just kind of blanking on what it is. I think Metaphor really just looms large.
It's a presence coming, definitely.
Yeah. My buddy Pat says like there's like Dragon Age is coming out, but there's no way I'm gonna stop playing Metaphor for.
No way.
He's like, I'm sorry, Dragon Age. Like I don't give a shit about you. I'm like kind of the same thing too. Everyone keeps like busting a load over the hair physics. I'm like. Whatever, dude. What does that mean for me? As in what does that mean for me in the gameplay experience? I don't know.
Right.
And also, I'm like Colin, and like probably I guess like 60% of the player base. I do not give a shit about character creation. The meme about oh my god, I spent 2 hours in character creation. You wasted your fucking time, didn't you? I don't know.
I know personally a lot of people that do that. They spend way too long doing it.
I know a lot of people that do that, and I think it's weird, but that's okay. I don't think it's weird. I get why you want to create your own character, and sometimes I've done that too, right? Definitely back in Mass Effect, I definitely made the prettiest Jane Shepherd I could, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I still picked I picked the basic John Shepherd. I picked John Mass Effect and
John Mass Effect. I think I did the first game as well. Yeah. I played the first one on Xbox, then I played the second one on PS3. So I think I redid him to make him look like hideous or something. My guy looked so fucked up, but it was awesome.
I did have an Asian dude in my first run of Mass Effect ever, from Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3. So that was kind of fun, but he looked like Daniel Day Kim. He looked nothing like me. Because like you can only have like a broad chinned like soldier guy.
Yeah, he can only be chiseled.
There was no body diversity back then, So yeah, he was always a chiseled Asian looking dude. But that was
fun. Let's see. For me, Gene, I'll definitely be playing Silent Hill with you.
Yeah.
Very excited about it. Especially because I replayed Silent Hill 2 this year for the first time in like a very long time. So I'm curious to see what they're going to do.
It's not fresh in my mind, actually. I think it's been like well over a decade
Yeah.
Because I do not remember the last time I
Dude,
played Silent Hill 2.
I forgot so much stuff when I was playing through it. It had been so long.
Wow.
Yeah, that Metaphor, obviously, that's going to take over this whole company as it should. It's going to be an awesome game. I'm really curious about the SpongeBob SquarePants Patrick Star game. It's like physics-based game, like rolling around and shit. Looks goofy.
I did see that. Yeah, it's like, oh, interesting.
But I don't know if I'll get to it, but it looks kind of interesting to me. Let's see. I think for the rest of the month I might be okay. Mario Party Jamboree could be fun for like a couple streams maybe or something like that, but I don't know.
Oh, I still want to finish Emio.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Which I haven't even tried at all, but Micah is really, really playing it. So it's like, I think, I always pressure Micah to play games, and it's like now I feel the pressure on my end. Like if Micah's playing through Emio and she's playing through Zelda, so I'm really looking forward to chatting with Zelda with her.
Me too.
But yeah, she's playing through Emio, so like I feel like I should be playing Emio this week. So I might be doing that before Silent Hill 2 drops.
Sure.
And that'll be a good appetizer, a little horror appetizer. Or maybe it'll just make Silent Hill 2 look goofy by comparison. Who knows?
Maybe. Are you going to play Sonic and Shadows Generations?
I wasn't going to until the Keanu Reeves dropped, and I was like,
oh, right.
Yo.
Yeah, okay, that's true. Fair enough, dude.
Yeah,
I'm curious about it.
I'm not I'm probably the company's biggest Sonic the Hedgehog fan, but I was never like a huge mark for Shadow. I think Shadow was cool, but I'm not like, oh my god, it's fucking Sonic and Shadow. I think Shadow's cool, but like, so that's why a whole game based on Sonic X Shadow, I was like, oh, that's cool. I'll check it out sometime. And then when the Sonic movie thing dropped, I was like, oh, they're really serious about this game. That tells me that they're really, really serious about making this game. So it's like, okay, this might be a new Sonic generation situation. So yeah, I'm gonna check that out too. So
yeah. Let's see. Life is Strange Double Exposure. I might check out. The first Life is Strange is the only one I kind of liked. Yeah. And it'd be fun for stream. But other than that, I mean, I'll probably skip it, honestly. But I'm a little intrigued. But we'll see.
Until Dawn also. Until Dawn, I was intrigued because I never played Until Dawn.
Right? Oh, you never played? Okay, yeah. I've played it. I'm not playing that game. Hard skip for me. I'm good. But if you've never played it,
you mentioned that like Life is Strange could be fun for stream, and it's like, oh yeah, Life is Strange and Until Dawn could be fun for stream, right?
Definitely good streaming content. Absolutely. Yeah. Whoa, I forgot Horizon Zero Dawn comes out October 31st. That's funny. I'm not playing that probably for a long time. Veilguard I'll play after Metaphor.
I was excited for Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered because my biggest pet peeve in Horizon Zero Dawn was, her staff.
Yeah.
Every time she sheathes it, it just disappears into her back.
Oh, yeah.
That always fucking bugged me, even back in Zero Dawn, back in 2017. So when they fixed that Forbidden West, and then it just sheathed and it's just on her back, I was like, that's exactly what I needed from Zero Dawn. So when I looked at the remastered, I'm like, are they going to do that? Are they going to give us an Aloy model with a sheath in her back? and from all the clips I'm seeing, I don't see any staff in her back. So I think they fucked it up. So it's like there's no point for me. I'm not even going to pay $10 for this shit. Fuck it.
Yeah, that's whack, dude.
For me personally. So
you got to get that going.
Yeah, I went back. I went from I support the remaster to no, this is completely fucking pointless because of the one thing they didn't fucking add.
Yeah. Dude, I don't think I'll play this, but cool game. Shadows of the Damned Hell remastered. I enjoyed it when it came out originally.
I'll check it out sometime.
A wacky game. Have you ever played it?
I did play it.
Okay, I was gonna say that Gene's got to play that if he's never played it.
No,
listeners, it's a weird ass game. It's kind of fun, but it's Suda51 and Mikami collabing together. It's a weird ass wild game. Definitely worth checking out.
I remember very little bit about it, except the level transitions where you're running along the woman's body.
Yes,
that was cool. And then when he turns his gun into a cock. And then you just shoot. There's like an on the rail shooting segment.
Yes, the boner gun.
Yep, the boner gun. And otherwise, it's very much like Resident Evil. Resident Evil 4 / like Evil Within. Kind of.
Yeah.
Evil Within 1 in particular, not 2, but yeah.
I was looking at November. I'm like, oh, cool. There's not a lot I have to play, but now I'm looking at it. I'm interested in Mario and Luigi Brothership just because I've never played a Mario and Luigi game, and I know people like them, but I don't know if I'll get to it right away. Because I'll probably still be playing Metaphor. Yeah. Slitterhead, I'm very curious about. Very curious. So I'll be keeping an eye on that. Dragon Quest 3, I'm definitely going to play that. I've never played Dragon Quest 3. So it's the time to get in. Looks delightful. I'll be there day one.
Yeah, I need to remind the audience Dragon Quest 3 is right next to Final Fantasy 6 or Final Fantasy 4 as like the formative like RPGs of all time.
Yeah, 3 is definitely like one of the most legendary ones in the series for sure. And let's see. I'm very annoyed that this is coming out right here, but Fantasia Neo Dimension, I want to play. The only thing is, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth was supposed to be my Christmas game to catch up. Because I haven't played it yet. Everyone loves it. It's the only one I haven't beaten. And now they're doing the pirate game. So I'm like, okay, dude, I got to beat this game by this year. But you're throwing another JRPG right at my feet right before then, dude. Maybe I'll just get to that game later in next year or something like that. I don't know. Because I feel like I got to get through Like a Dragon. And Indiana Jones I'll play. I'll get that on Game Pass for like a nice little weekend.
Completely forgot Indiana Jones coming out.
Yeah. Let's see, December 9th. That'll be a fun romp for the weekend or so, probably. And that's it. So me and Gene have a million things to play still. So we're going to be struggling.
Yeah.
But we'll get through it, dude. We will get through it. I'm excited. I definitely want to do a GOTY episode with everyone's Game of the Years at the end of the year.
I think the Astrobot glow is fading.
Sure.
I think I'm back to Rebirth being game.
Hell yeah, one of us, Gene.
I think we should do it. I think we should do it. I think we should,
especially when we get that pro version, that little makeover. It's gonna look real nice.
Yeah, I think I'm back on the Rebirth hype train. I think Astrobot was cool, but you know,
Astrobot's great. I love Astrobot.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, it should be the second best game of the year. So,
but it's not Cloud Strife.
No. What if it's Dragon Age? Oh my god! What if Dragon Age is actually really, really good?
I think Dragon Age. I think it will be a good game.
I think I'm kind of cheering for its failure, actually. I
think a lot of people are.
If only because I don't have to play it. That's why.
Yeah, that's all. I feel like a lot of people are.
Yeah, I know a lot of people are for a variety of reasons, and I get that. But I think for me, I just don't want to. I just don't want it to be another big game for me to play.
Yeah, I get it 100%. I understand.
Yeah. I did see that the directors were very influenced by Final Fantasy VII Remake in terms of like how to like build out worlds and like the pacing, because like they're both linear games, you know.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
So that's a little interesting, and I'm wondering how they do that. Although I'm just not jazzed about Veilguard being linear, you know.
Yeah, sure.
And, totally. And I don't give a shit about the story, bro. It happened so long ago, so I don't care about silence. You know, people are like, "Oh my god, silence! We've been waiting so long." Yeah, we've been waiting so long. Like the fire's gone from me. I don't give a shit about it anymore. You know.
Yeah, I understand. I only played the first 2 games, so I never even played Inquisition or finished it.
Oh,
so
no shit. Okay,
I don't even remember.
Yeah, that's where the disconnect is too. But even see, I played Inquisition, and the disconnect is like, I don't care. You know.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I'll watch a recap video. I'll be good. I'm not gonna play through Inquisition. It's not happening.
No, don't play it.
Yeah, that's kind of what everyone told me.
Yeah, don't play it.
They're like, don't bother. It's fine.
Don't bother.
Like, all right.
Not a lot happens in the game, honestly. So,
damn. All right, Gene. Let's talk. We've talked about this before a couple times already. The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom. We talked about punching up. We got all your impressions from it. Your review is up on the Washington Post. If you guys want to check out Gene's official review, please do that. But I've been playing the game now.
Yeah, I've been watching the streams.
Yeah, and I'm going to say a little over halfway through probably now. It definitely feels like you were saying the game is kind of split into 2 parts, kind of thing like that. And
I think you got to that part basically, right?
Yeah. And just like quick general thoughts, Gene. I think this game's really good, really fun. I really enjoy a lot of the creativity it gives you. A lot of the puzzles are really fun. Like playing through this, Gene, going through a proper dungeon made me lament Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild so much more. Where I'm just like, damn, this is a proper dungeon, man. I miss this. Now, don't get me wrong about those games. I think the best stuff in those games are in the shrines. The shrines have really good puzzles. Just the temples and dungeons were lacking for me in both of them. But Tears of the Kingdom was better. But anyways, yes. there is so much creativity, so much I feel like I can do, and just solving really like weird puzzles, Gene, especially early on, like you were telling me way before, the bed. The bed is the meta. It is so OP in the beginning of the game,
Mhm.
especially. I was using the bed everywhere to get do everything with it. It was great. It was so
Mhm.
like it was just so goofy that is like such a core mechanic of the game, and the bed was like one of the best strats around. I love that kind
Mhm.
of shit.
The bed is amazing because it is one block high, right? I think
Mm-hmm.
the summons go through a grid system. Zelda can move anywhere she wants in completely
Right.
3D space, and all the characters can. But the summons are in a grid system, and the bed is 2 blocks wide and like 1 block high, and it only costs one triangle. And so it's so versatile in terms of making a bridge, it's stackable. It has an extra footing that if you lean off of it, and it's so cheap to cast. It's
Mm-hmm.
OP. That is OP.
Yeah, it's super OP, especially early on in the game. I've gotten some stuff that I've kind of replaced it with now, but like
Mm-hmm.
I used the bed for a long time, at least the first 2 dungeons or whatever I did the whole time. So
Mm-hmm.
the bed's great, but
Here's the thing. Because you're getting more tri powers, right? You have more
yeah.
triangles, so you can cast more,
Mm-hmm.
right? By the end of the game, imagine how many beds you can cast with maximum tri power, right?
Yeah.
So that's why bed remains OP because it's so cheap to cast, and it casts out so long that the bridge you build by the end of the game is so long that it
Mm-hmm.
solves almost every problem. You know,
Yeah, that
the
sounds
bed
yeah, that's
remains
true.
OP throughout the whole game.
I have this like little square thing I use. You know, like the tiles that would raise up off the floor and
Yo, yeah,
attack you. I've been
yeah.
using that for a lot of stuff too, and it's been really good.
Are you surfing along that thing, or are you binding to it?
I'm surfing along it.
Yep.
I just jump on top of it. It's cooler, but the
Yeah, for
binding
sure.
is sick. I love the binding. Just for people who don't know, so you summon out all these objects and stuff like that throughout the game. That's like kind of Zelda's main power, but you can also kind of grab stuff. It looks exactly like the Ultra Hand from Tears of the Kingdom. It's like the same green color
Mm-hmm.
and everything, and you can pick stuff up and kind of move it around. You can't move it around as like you can't be as flexible with it as like you were in Tears of the Kingdom. You can't like rotate super easily and stuff like that, but you can have these objects and you can kind of tether yourself to them. And if the objects move on their own, it'll move you along with them. So it's almost like you're being tagged along for a ride. So for an example of that is there's like a little spider guy you can get. You can get this little spider, and if you unleash him, he'll just start going wherever you unleash him, and he'll run up a wall. You can leash
Mm-hmm.
yourself to this spider and he will pull you up. And that's just kind of the game, is just all these weird little solutions to puzzles. It kind of reminds me of I mean, I guess Tears of the Kingdom and stuff, but also like a little bit of Portal, where you're just like, I don't know if that was the right way to do this,
Mm.
but we did it. Because I remember I was playing last night, Gene, you were watching me, and I was like kind of stuck at this part, and you're like, "Oh, I think I did this part accidentally," or you just kind of like
Yeah.
stumbled into it. It was like these torches or something like that. I'm like, man, I love that kind of stuff. I think it's so cool when you can just
Yeah.
find weird solutions to puzzles like that.
Bind is also crazy too because you can just bind an enemy and then
Yeah,
just bring them over to a pit, and then it's over. The
yeah, you
fight's
just
over.
drop them. Yeah, it's so
Yeah, you
good.
just drop
Zelda
them.
is
Yeah.
really strong in this game. She
Zelda
is
is incredibly
buff.
strong. She's fucking strong.
Yeah,
So
she
that's
is
why, like,
buff.
I see like other people say like, oh, it's weird that like Zelda can't use a weapon. So it's like, are they saying that like Zelda can't use a weapon or can't use a sword? I'm like, they're saying she doesn't need a weapon.
Yeah,
That's
she doesn't need
that's the
it.
issue, you know?
I mean, I don't want her to play like Link either.
Yeah,
She kind of does already with her magic form, close enough,
yeah,
but it's like I
yeah. It's
want
already
Zelda to
there.
feel. I want her to feel different, you know?
Yeah, no, it's and Rebecca Valentine at IGN, the credit to her. She's the one who gave me this thought. But Link is the guy who has infinite sword power and limited magic power. So
Right.
Zelda is the girl with infinite magic power and limited
Yeah.
sword power. I'm like, yeah, that's totally cool. That totally
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah, it makes total sense. And I
Yeah.
love being like a weird little necromancer summoning all these weird things.
Yeah,
It's
you
great.
get you're summoning fucking re-deads by the end of the game.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah. Got like
yeah, she's a necromancer. It's insane.
I got like some buff Lizalfos, and he's awesome. I love this guy. It's so good, man.
Oh yeah. Is that the level 2 Lizalfos?
Yeah,
Whatever.
he's like
Yeah.
white. It's awesome, dude. I love him. He's so
Yeah,
cool.
and they stab so quick that so
Yeah,
good.
it's so good, man. I'm gonna say this though, right off the game, performance wise, is disappointing. It
Mm.
does not run nearly as well as it should. In dungeons, close environments, it runs great. So it seems like a solid or very stable 60 FPS pretty much most of the time.
Gives you that taste of 60 FPS, right?
Yeah.
Which is tantalizing, and especially after coming off Astrobot, it is disappointing, right?
Yeah. But once you get in the world, man, that frame rate is just kind of all over the place. It never feels stable ever. I just
Hyrule Castletown. Oof.
Yeah, it's just all over. It's constantly fluctuating. It feels like so. It is disappointing. I do notice a lot. Like you can of course get used to it. Like I'm playing and I am used to it, but I still notice it and all that stuff. And it's not enough to stop me from playing the game by any means, but it is an annoying issue, especially because why don't you just cap the game at 30 frames, man?
They should have
if you can't do it, or give you the option at least. Nintendo needs to get on that kind of stuff, like letting you cap frame rate options and things in their games, because it'd make it a better experience in a lot of ways. Like I love it in the dungeons, but when I'm out in the world, it's just so jarring and unfortunate. Like you get on the mountain and it kind of starts like slow down and stuff.
That's the one thing, you know, I'm always like fucking dick riding Nintendo, right? But one of the biggest, you know, I'm wearing their fucking hat today, as I do every day. But I mean, the one issue I have with Nintendo games is that they have so little like customability, you know?
Right.
But we're never gonna get anything. You know, imagine a Nintendo game that says, "Do you want quality or performance mode?" You know, that's.
Yeah.
They're not going to do that. They have issues with allowing the audience tailor the experience. You know, it's interesting. You know, and it's irritating. You know, it'd be nice if you can help us out a little bit. And that's where like even accessibility issues come in. You know, they don't give a shit about that at all.
No. So they like. Nintendo's just kind of slow to a lot of things. Very slow to a lot of things. So maybe over time, maybe not Switch 2, but Switch 3, we'll start seeing that kind of stuff, maybe. So we can only hope. But Zelda, yeah, I'll just talk about kind of some of the structure of the game briefly. So what's interesting about this game is it is like a mix of the old school style of go to this temple, then go to this temple, then go to this temple kind of order thing. And Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, where it's like you have freedom to do whatever you want. So what I mean by that is at the very beginning of the game, you kind of like get your whole spiel, the prologue, you do all that stuff, but then you get out in the world and you have 2 dungeons that are out in the world and you get to pick which one you want to go to. So I'm like, okay, this is kind of like a nice compromise, I guess, between the 2 systems. And of course, each area has its own story and stuff like that. There's a lot of story actually in this game, a lot of dialogue, more than I expected from characters and stuff like that. Like the very early parts of the game is you can go to Gerudo Town, or you can go to the Zora, like river and ocean kind of area like that. And you go through there and they each have their own squabbles and all that kind of stuff. You got to figure everything out. I did enjoy doing all those, especially the Zora one. I thought was fun. These 2 like arguing factions and kind of bringing them together was great. But one thing I really like about the game, Gene, is also it's on the surface you're like, yeah, this looks exactly like Link's Awakening kind of thing like that. But then you can kind of break it open a little more, like Tears of the Kingdom. Like it feels like you can go a lot of places that you shouldn't be able to go. Like I'm walking around on top of trees and stuff like that, and I'm just like, this feels like I'm out of bounds right now. But the game is allowing me to do that, so I really appreciate it. They still managed to somehow keep you more on track in a lot of ways, but give you some freedom to feel like you have, give you the feeling that you have more freedom than past games, which I really appreciate it, while keeping that more linear story structure or mission structure, I suppose. So that's great. The magic meter we were talking about, I think is fun. So basically Zelda's magic meter is she turns into like a sword form, like a Gooigi looking Zelda with her Link's sword and the bow.
Oh man, they did kind of gooify Zelda, huh?
Yeah, they gooified her. Yeah, they Zelda her. And as you're in this form, your magic meter goes down, but you can do all Link's sword attacks and stuff like that. You can block. Eventually, you can shoot his bow. So that's cool, and it's really powerful. Like you use it against bosses and all that stuff, and you can get it back by getting magic meter, essentially like that. But I do like you can also upgrade it at a place with these. I think what they're called, power shards or something like that. I forgot what they're called exactly, but you collect these throughout the world, and they upgrade the
Oh, the
meter.
mic crystals.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the mic crystals. That's it. You upgrade the meter for it. You can upgrade the damage for like your bow or your sword. So I like all that kind of stuff. So there has been incentive to explore the world, and rewards like money is good because there's lots of accessories you can buy. Like
Yes.
you can buy like flippers to swim faster in the water.
Mm-hmm.
You can buy this like heart ring. I think that makes hearts appear more often, and some sandals. We can run on the sand a lot easier without being slowed down. So all that stuff's really cool. I like that. There are like brief elements of modern 3D Zelda and that kind of stuff with different gear and stuff like that. So
the
I
L
do
trigger
appreciate that.
lock on is interesting, right?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
ZL trigger. Yeah. So during fights, you can, of course, Z lock onto enemies, but it's great for your summons that you have out in the field, because if you lock onto someone, then they know to target that guy, so you can really focus on specific guys. So that's all great. The dungeons have been really fun. Honestly, I've been having a really good time going through them. They're like, they usually take like about an hour to get through, and I think that's totally fine for the scope of the game.
Yeah.
But it's just been nice for them to feel like events, like big events that have the best puzzles in them. Those two elements is what I was missing the most. So I'm very happy about all of that.
Yeah, I was watching your stream, and I completely agree with you. But Brad said on stream, you know, man, I want a big 3D dungeon to be a 2-hour experience.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, man, you know, like I want to enter into a building or a place, and I'm like, I have no idea when the fuck I'm going to leave here, you know?
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I want it to feel like a whole fucking journey in this isolated dungeon, you know? And that's always been the satisfying part of Zelda. And man, to have that experience in the Tears of the Kingdom, like a scale, would be amazing, you know?
Yeah. They just got to make it so you can't break everything super easily.
That's the thing.
Like they do in the Sheikah shrines or whatever.
Yeah, the fire temple is the biggest issue there, right? Where they created this elaborate minecart system that's very clever, and like to navigate the whole thing, you have to manipulate these minecarts in a certain way along this rail system, and it's all very elaborate and intricate. And you can just build a hover bike and just fly to each area.
Just like, all right, peace.
Just do it, you know.
It's annoying to me, but at the same time, I'm like, all right, that's cool that you let the player do that kind of stuff, but I want it to be like, you can't do that in here. That's what I kind of want from it. All your power is gone.
Yeah, they could have like just made a fucking magic force field, or like something. Hey, everything that flies here, because it's so fucking hot, like there's not enough like air.
Yeah, exactly. You can't fly, burns up or something. Yeah, that's what I kind of need more of.
Yeah,
but hopefully we'll start getting that more.
So that's why I said in my review that the top down angle is the restriction that allows him to make a former dungeon, you know, because you can't just fucking fly. Zelda just can't fly all over the place.
Right?
You know?
Yeah.
There's a certain limit to how far she can go, you know? You know? There's a literal ceiling, you know?
Yeah. I'm kind of in the second half of the game, I'm guessing right now. There's 3 more dungeons, I believe, for me to do now. There might be more, I don't know, but I'm at that part right now in the game, and I'm just having a good time. There seems to be a lot to do in this game. There's still a lot of the map I haven't been to yet. I feel like this is like probably 20-hour game, 25-hour game. It's a meaty game, meaty Zelda game.
It's
really great so far. Very delightful, very creative, lots of fun puzzles and solutions. It's really satisfying getting new echoes, especially when you get like a cool boss or a cool enemy, something like that. It's really satisfying. When I was getting them, Gene, I was like, man, this is the kind of feeling I wish I got from Pokemon still. Just like, I need that feeling again.
This is basically Pokemon. Yeah, this is basically Zelda Pokemon. She's just going around collecting the monsters. You know, and you got to collect them all. Got to catch them all.
Yeah, I want to. Yeah, I want to get them all, man.
There are 127 echoes. I was going crazy trying to find all of them. You know. And I finally got them all. I got them all. It feels nice. You know.
Aside from the performance, Gene, my other complaint, I guess, is just kind of accessing all the echoes. Feels a little unelegant to me.
Yes.
It's like you have a couple categories you can divide it up into. It's like most expensive, last used, or something like that. That's what I usually have it on, but you have a lot of echoes in this game. So you're just going to be scrolling down the list for quite a while sometimes looking for something like that. I wish they had something where it's divided up a little better. Maybe different kind of categories or something like that. But it's manageable, but it is an annoyance to me.
Yeah. Here's the thing. You haven't done any of the automatons yet, right?
No, I found Dampe
Dante?
for that.
Okay.
But no, I haven't.
I feel like that automatons was kind of it's cool because in Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild, Zelda was like a gadget, like a science girl, right?
Yeah.
Like she like fucking around with robots. So like this one is cool. Like she's a magician and she also fucking around with robots. I think that's cool. But like on the D-pad, I'm holding out the Pro controller here. Press right to pull up the summons, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then when you get the automatons, you can press left and then up. I forgot exactly what up does. But you never use down. Down is never used in the game. So they're not even using every button in the controller. They could have used down or even left and not like got rid of the automatons or another buttons to, I don't know, like you said, like separate into categories,
Yeah.
Right is where the monsters are. Down is where all the objects are,
Yeah, that would have been better, I think.
So you can kind of just access things better, or maybe you can have a favorites list, so you can like have a build of Zelda.
Favorites list would be great too. Yeah,
right?
Yeah, it's just missing some stuff like that.
Yeah, like most use is cool, but most use kind of restricts you into like it just kind of funnels you into just doing the same thing over and over again, right? Which is why like bed became OP because like, well, bed's here, so I might as well just fucking try that. So you really, really have to like push yourself to be experimental, but it'd be great if the game, gave you a little bit more tools to do that.
Yeah,
for sure. That's why I gave it 3.5 out of 4 because it's like there's definitely room to improve here.
Yeah, totally. I think the game is great though. Overall, I've been having a great time playing through it. This is Grezzo's first original Zelda. They did Ocarina of Time 3D and they did Majora's Mask and of course Link's Awakening. So it's great to see them do their own Zelda, and I think they made a really great one. Happy for them. I can't wait to play more. Definitely having a lot of fun playing it. Gene, now that you've settled on it, it's been a little bit for you. Are you still feeling about the 3.5 right now?
Yeah, I think I actually like it more as time has gone on, and it's been fun to clear out. Like I think I only have maybe 5 more heart containers to go, and I have only 12 more mic crystals to collect. But it's been a lot of fun, basically going around the world and just cleaning everything up. There's a lot of little puzzles and small things I never found. You do eventually get an item that can help you sonar detect mic crystals, so that's been very useful.
Oh, okay, yeah, that'll be good.
Have you run into the Great Fairy yet?
Yes.
Yeah, she can increase the amount of accessories you can have. So I was talking about Zelda builds. You can actually have a proper Zelda build based on the different accessories that you can create. But that's where where it comes in, where like there's so much there's so much features to her that it almost seems excessive, Like
sure.
Because the maximum amount of accessories you can equip is 5 accessories, and some of the accessories you get later on are really, really strong.
Oh, sure.
And I'm like, I don't know if Zelda needs to be that strong, She is impossibly strong by the end of the game, especially with all the accessories. There's accessories, so the magic meter like even burns even slower. And then there's 3 levels to the accessory, so it burns even 3 times even slower. There's another. There's an outfit that makes her spin attack even wider and like goes really far.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah, it's crazy. She gets real strong.
Crazy stuff.
And again, the automatons. I never used automatons throughout the entire game, but they're there. They're there. And I never needed to use them. There was one where I needed to use like a robot bird to fly across something infinitely, but that was a side quest.
Okay.
The side quests are fun. Some of the side quests are fun.
Yeah, totally.
Especially towards the later end game too. They get pretty cute.
Yeah,
they get pretty cute, and the stories are cute too, right?
Yeah. The game is very charming and cute. I like it. It's just a pleasure to be in that world. It's very nice.
The whole Jabul region with the Zoras, like that. That was a fun little adventure with the 2 different Zoras, right? That was cool.
Yeah, the river and sea Zoras. Yeah, it's good stuff, man. But yeah, can't wait to play more. Having a great time. Feels good, man.
Yeah.
All right,
Have you gotten any different outfits too?
Yeah, I got one. You get one from the story, and that's kind of what I have right now.
Okay.
But I'm actually going to try out the amiibo stuff because I saw you get outfits from that, so I'll check that out as well. Because I have all those fucking bullshit amiibos, so I might as well check it out and see how it goes. All right, this is from Jason, Jason. It's Javen. Hey, gang. Let's talk Zelda. Anuma has stated Breath of the Wild / Tears of the Kingdom will be the direction 3D iterations move towards from here on out. What do you guys think of this? Will 3D Zeldas always need a big open world fairs, or will they always need to be big open world affairs? By contrast, what do you want to see out of future 2D / top-down Zelda entries? I feel like striking an ongoing balance between comfort and familiarity and treading new, innovative ground is challenging. Okay, so let's see here, Gene. 3D iterations, kind of more in the direction of Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild. That could mean a lot of things, I guess, though. I guess what they mean by that is, like, what, I guess, first of all, Gene, when they say that, what does that mean to you?
I don't think it all means that they're all going to be like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. I don't think it means like, breakable weapons are permanent.
Right.
I just think that they're just going to be huge, big worlds with a lot of freedom.
Yeah.
I have to imagine that the next big 3D Zelda game, which is going to be like I'm going to be like 50 years old by the time they get that. Jesus Christ. But whenever they fucking finally finish that game for the Switch 2, I imagine that it's going to be a completely different formula. Probably will still evoke the look and feel. I'm sure that we're still going to get the money shot of the whole world and everything like that. I think Hyrule's still going to be vast, and I think there's still going to be a way to kind of just navigate and fly all over the world, maybe. But I think it's going to be different. I think they're using Echoes of the Wisdom as a training ground to kind of figure out, like, okay, how do we do dungeons again? Let's practice with the dungeons here, and the dungeons here are good. I think they're going to figure it out, because like you said, and like we talked about, that they were able to. I thought Echoes of Wisdom was going to be like Link Between Worlds, where after you finish the tutorial, it's like, oh, just go to the 8 dungeons or 6 dungeons or whatever order you want. Just find fucking echoes and deal with it that way, right? No, it actually funnels you into 2 different dungeons first, and then the story will continue, and then there's more dungeons. They could do that they could have done that for Tears of the Kingdom or something, or even Breath of the Wild. Populate the place more, put a little more story into it, make dungeons pop out once the story progresses. You can actually create a game and a story and a narrative that's a little bit more linear, and as opposed to just jumping around and finding memories and fragmented pieces of story to piece together. That worked in the Breath of the Wild. It definitely didn't fucking work in Tears of the Kingdom. That was awful.
Yeah.
That was crazy. Well. I couldn't believe they did that. You can just spoil the game like in the first 2 hours of the game for yourself.
Yeah.
So I think they realize that and say, okay, well, maybe let's practice some structure real quick, before we move on.
Yeah. So I really just want them to like have the narrative dealt out in kind of a linear fashion. Like they need to give you the freedom, like you're saying, of being in this world and feeling like you can go where you want to go, but being very good at navigating you through a narrative, actually feeling like it's a part. Like, I don't want the narrative to feel like, again, something that happened in the past. Like the main bulk of the story happened thousands of years ago in the past. Like, please don't do that again.
Don't be like Elden Ring or Dark Souls, where the craziest shit happened 100 years before, 50 years before, and then we're dealing with the aftermath, the post-apocalypse, the call-in world,
Yeah, the call-in world.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's fine for those two, Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild. It's fine, but I want to move away from that.
We did it.
I also really want a companion character again. I'm just having it like, your Midna's or something like that, your King of Red Lions, your Navi, someone on this journey kind of with you the whole time.
Yeah, it's a little too lonely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially Echoes of Wisdom. I think the thing that I appreciate the most is that Zelda is the main character of this world.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
when you enter into Hyrule Castletown, everyone's like, "Oh, an adventure." No one's like that. Everyone's like, "Oh shit, Zelda, what's up, man?"
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then when you go
Yeah.
to other kingdoms, you're like, "Oh shit, Zelda, you're here." You know,
Yeah.
it's interesting. You know,
Yeah.
to
Link's
have
like just kind of nameless guy compared to Zelda.
yeah,
No one
yeah,
really knows Link.
to have the world actually react to you as a character is really really interesting. You
It
know,
is. Yeah.
so
It's really
yeah,
interesting.
you know, it'll be nice to have a Link that isn't. You know, he can be mute, right? He can stay mute, but you know, to react to him as a real presence in the world. You know.
Yeah, someone's got to speak for him if he's going to
Mhm.
be a mute or something like that, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah.
Again,
Exactly.
it's got to have a
Mhm.
little something. I
Yeah.
mean, if he
You're
talks, I'm
right.
not going to have a problem with that at all. I just think
Yeah.
if he does talk, he won't talk a lot, kind of thing like that.
Yeah. Oh,
But yeah,
Here's my Starfield Shutter Space code. Cool. Okay. Thank you.
nice. I feel
Yeah.
like
Bring back Navi. Bring back a fairy character. That
yeah,
was the perfect solution. There was a perfect solution. You know.
for a silent protagonist, yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, like Gene said, and I agree 100%. I think it'll just be like Gene said, not necessarily weapon dip gonna break every time. Maybe not
Please.
crazy as
Please.
mechanical as
Please. Not
Tears
with
of the
the weapon
Kingdom was
breaking
with all
though.
that shit.
Yeah. No more weapon breaking, please. I'm over that. I'm over that mechanic. I'm
I
done with it.
think
You know.
I think the main thing will just be the world and making it feel huge and with so much to do and is kind of like their main goal right now.
Mhm.
And giving player freedom, I think is very
Mhm.
important to them still.
And the reason why, and we talked about this before, but the Lightning Temple in Tears of the Kingdom was kind of the best one, right? Like the
Yeah,
run up to the Wind Temple was definitely the best, and the mood and the vibe in the Wind Temple was the best. But the Lightning
yeah.
Temple, in terms
Lightning
of like how it
Temple.
was structured, it was the best. You know
Yeah.
why? Because it was in an enclosed space. You
Yep.
know, the other dungeons, including the fucking divine beasts in Breath of the Wild, they were all open air spaces, and because the game was really really committing to you can go anywhere and look at how natural it is, and it was amazing. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's incredible. That was incredible tech for a 2012 Android tablet, right? But yeah, you gotta have to design a dungeon, and that's why they gave us a temple, a pyramid, and the whole dungeon was inside that thing. You can't just
Yeah.
fucking fly all over the place. So
Yeah.
just give us fucking castles and dungeons to figure
Yeah.
it out. That's why in Breath of the Wild, Hyrule Castle was the best dungeon in that game, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it
Because
was.
yeah, you can fly around it, but you still got to navigate it, and you still got to find your way through it. You know, it was awesome, and
Yeah,
you were
there's
just like, oh my god, why isn't the rest of the game like this?
yeah.
This is so peak Hyrule Castle. You know? Oh my god, it
Yeah.
was so good. It was so good as a dungeon. You know,
It was. Yeah. Yeah, I would love for if it's the next game's either I think it would be cool if it's not in Hyrule and it's somewhere completely different. That'd be sweet.
mm.
Or if it is Hyrule, for Hyrule to not be in like an apocalyptic state. Do you know what I mean? Like I want the kingdom, the
Castle
king in
Town.
there, the castle thriving, all that stuff.
Give us back Castle Town, man. Come
Yeah,
on.
I miss all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's enough about Zelda though, because we could talk about that for way too long.
Yeah, and
Let's talk about
we're gonna talk about it more and punching up too. So,
Dude, yeah.
that's the issue.
Yeah, that's true. All right, Gene,
Yeah.
let's talk about a game I'm very stoked you're playing.
Yeah.
Metal Gear Solid 4, Guns of the Patriots.
Mm.
First of all, why are you playing this right now?
So I recently did an article about Hideo Kojima. At the Washington Post, we have a series among the arts critics called Repertoire, where we highlight different auteurs and artists within our respective mediums that we criticize. And I was actually the first to go. So of course, when I was approached with this project, I was like, oh, it should be Hideo Kojima. You know,
Mm-hmm. Sure.
he is the prominent auteur, and I figured this was going to publish around the whole TGS Death Stranding 2 trailers, and we can talk about that in a bit. And so I, in preparation for that, I was quote unquote Kojima maxing. I was playing every single game touched by Kojima, produced by Kojima. I never played Snatcher before. I haven't played Police Knots yet, so Police Knots remains the only Kojima game that I never played. But I never played Snatcher, and I finally did. Had to download RetroArch and figure that out to play it, but that was fun. And so I just played through all of it. I played through Metal Gear 1, Metal Gear 2, Metal Gear 3, and then I just didn't play Metal Gear 4 because I knew I wasn't going to cover Metal Gear 4. But because I'm playing all through it, and I still want to, I'm in a Kojima mood, especially with the Death Stranding 2 TGS preview that he showed. You know, when you look at what he's doing with Death Stranding 2, or even Death Stranding 1, it's like, man, there's still hints of MGS4 in there somehow, you know?
Yeah.
A little bit, you know? Just even how weird MGS4 is. So, yeah, I actually, I also have to blame Astrobot, too, because Astrobot has really, really reignited my fandom for PlayStation, and it made me want to reinstall my PS3. For some reason, I had a PS4 connected to my TV, which is pointless. I like the DualShock 4, and I like the PS4, but I was, you know, you can play all the PS4 games on PS5. So I was like, I should stop being dumb, and I should just, you know, hook on my PS3. So I have the Metal Gear Solid Legacy Collection right here for the PS3, and this is like the collection for Metal Gear fans. Besides, it doesn't have Metal Gear 5, but it has Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake, Metal Gear Solid VR Missions, Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty, Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, Metal Gear Solid 4 Guns of the Patriots, Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker, Metal Gear Solid Range. I can't even read that. I don't even know what that is. You know, I've never played it. Range something, you know. Holy shit. I don't even know what that is. You know, I guess it's more VR missions. I'm actually looking at the manual now. Peace Walker. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck that is. Anyways, it has shit I don't even know about, you know. But I'm playing Metal Gear 4 off this. And I want to earn trophies for it too.
Yeah, sure.
Because I only played Guns of the Patriots way back then in 2008 when there was zero trophy support.
Same.
And then they added that way later, and I was like, I don't give a shit. I have my super save where I have all the weapons, and I'm just gonna keep playing that. And then years later, I've kind of gotten the trophy bug, as I've been talking about in the podcast. You know, so it's like, you know, I'm only 3 trophies away from platinuming Bloodborne. I just need to find the other 2 endings and get all the special hunter tools. For some reason, there's one hunter tool I never found, which is crazy. It's the very last one in the Nightmare of Mensis, actually.
Which one is it?
I forget. I don't even know what it's called. But I never did need to use it. But it's in the Nightmare of Mensis, and people who know, the Nightmare of Mensis is not a place where you just want to hang around and just like look around and like look for shit. You know, the Nightmare of Mensis is a real nightmare. It sure is. You hate being there, and the game is really, really rushing you through that area. So, I think it was pretty obvious why I completely missed that shit. But I figured, why not get trophies for Metal Gear Solid 4? I don't think I'm gonna get all the trophies for it. I'm not gonna platinum Metal Gear 4. But I should at least
do the big boss mode or whatever. Get the rank.
Bet I'm not gonna complete Metal Gear Solid 4 because I think a lot of people underestimate Metal Gear Solid 4. Obviously,
I do too. Yeah,
obviously, Metal Gear Solid 4 remains the Guinness World Record holder for the longest cutscene in a video game. I believe.
Is it the end cutscene?
I think it's either the end or when Revolver / Liquid activates the or deactivates Sons of the Patriots and he starts doing the finger guns.
Yeah. Hold on, before you go further, I'm going to give Gene free reign to spoil Metal Gear Solid 4. So he can talk about whatever he wants. So if you're worried about Metal Gear Solid 4 spoilers, back out. I'm just going to say, just play Metal Gear Solid 4, all right? But I'm going to let Gene talk as freely as he wants to.
Yeah. I'll try to avoid too many story details too, because you know, because how the fuck am I going to talk about the story?
Yeah, you're going to have to spoil stuff. It's just
well, the thing is how it's a hard game. Well, it's not really a hard game to spoil. It's a very easy game to spoil, but there's so much crap in it that it's not even worth talking about the story. You know, because we're going to be here for 3 hours. You know, but my point is, despite the fact that it has like the longest cutscenes ever, it's still a very gamey game because I'm starting a new save. You have to start a new save to earn trophies. And I realized, I have to rebuild my gun collection again.
Mm-hmm.
There is a huge collectathon aspect to Metal Gear Solid 4. Every time you kill an enemy, they're going to drop a gun. You collect it, and every time you collect a gun, it'll automatically sell that gun to the black market, and you're getting like military points. You're getting like basically gun credits to be able to buy new guns. But every gun you collect will add to your collection, every new gun, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So within each stage, there are like certain enemies or certain areas that will have secret guns and secret things, and I'm just like, oh my god, I completely forgot that I actually have to like search this area, and some of these areas, especially in the first 2x, well, really only in the first 2x. Are, we could talk about that more, but in the first 2x, there are really, really large levels with like intricate pathways and hidden passageways and hidden rooms that you got to find, and it's really, really it's so much fun. So I'm really going through the first 2 acts. The first act is in like a desert area, and the second act is in the jungle area. And these are, and you know, this is a gameplay spoiler, I guess, but the two first acts are really the meat of the gameplay. You know, and the game is 5 acts long. The third act is mostly cutscene. The fourth act is a cool stealth sequence, and then mostly cutscene, and then an awesome, like one of the best boss fights of all time. And then the fifth, the act is one like hallway of a cutscene, and then an awesome QTE, probably one of the best quick time events of all time, and then an awesome boss fight. So yeah, there's a lot going on in the game, but you really got to know that the game definitely narrows itself down halfway through.
Yeah.
But I mostly just replayed the first 2 acts because, man, Metal Gear Solid 4 came out in 2008, and this was a time when video games were really, really nailing down that feeling of war, you know, that feeling of action and hectic combat, you know. Do you remember where you were the first time you played Medal of Honor? Because I sure as hell do.
Where I played Metal Gear Solid 4? Yeah.
No, Medal of Honor.
Oh, Medal of Honor? Yeah, I remember my living room playing it.
Yeah, or Call of Duty or whatever. But just like the zinging, you know, just like the bullets flying by and just like the war all around you. And then Metal Gear Solid 4 does that to an incredible degree, you know? Because the gameplay premise of Metal Gear Solid 4 is that there are two private military corporations basically at war at each other, and Solid Snake is in there infiltrating this war zone to try to find one man and one person. And so a lot of the game is you can actually choose you can choose which side you want to fight with, or you can completely ignore it and just try to sneak through the whole way, and nobody even knows you're there. So there's so much like gameplay variability. I used to side with the rebels all the time, and then fight with the more heavily fight against the more heavily armed PMC. I'm not sure if you can actually side with the heavily armed PMC, but you can definitely make the rebels mad at you, and you can definitely fight them too. But then also, because I have so few guns and I have so few equipment, because I'm starting a new save, I'm really forcing myself to really stealth through everything, you know. And I'm using the Octo Camo suit.
I love the Octo Camo so much. I love it.
For people who don't know, in Metal Gear Solid 3, you had to like fucking wear different camo suits.
Yeah, different camo suits
to adjust the different environments, and it was very cumbersome. It's very much like it was a UI problem. It's kind of like the Water Temple in Ocarina of Time, where you have to keep switching between the fucking boots and the swimming and everything like that. So you always have to switch between suits. And Metal Gear Solid 4, they give you Octo Camo, which is a suit that will just change chameleon-like into whatever environment. So you just press yourself against a wall, and it will turn into the wall. Where you just press yourself against the ground, and then suddenly you look like dirt. You know, so awesome.
Yeah. So
one of my favorite things is
the statue part, dude. Do you remember the pose of the statue?
And he's grabbing the statue's dick for no reason. He just I just gotta grab his cock real quick.
Oh, it's so good.
So good, and it happens right at the beginning of the game. It's so stupid. I always do that. I always do the statue. No one's around. No one's looking. I'm just gonna touch this cock real quick. You know. But what was I saying? It's so good. My favorite thing to do is to get rid of the camo is you have to shake DualShock 3. and it'll go and it'll go back into the metal that Solid Snake blue, which is cool because you can even do that. You can even do that during the cutscenes, you know. So hey, maybe you don't want Snake looking like he's wearing a watermelon suit during the scene where he's talking about dying and dying of old age.
Yeah. Yeah.
Give that DualShock 3 a real shake, and he'll look proper. So
yeah, man.
That's just so much fun. It's just so much fun. And then there's flashbacks. You can press X every time they make a reference to the past. You can press up to zoom in. So even during the cutscenes, Kojima is always trying to find ways for us to like interact with the movie.
Yeah.
So again, I'm trying to find clues as to what Fizzant, the game that's going to come out in like fucking 2050, is going to be like. His Fizzant, his PlayStation produced return to stealth espionage. And it's like, man, what? Maybe he could pull something. Maybe he can go back to MGS4 and pull from the ideas, because there's so many cool ideas in MGS4 that just never lived on as a meme, even in MGS5. And I'm wondering what they'll be. Another thing I really love about MGS4 and the original MGS trilogy, or the series in general, was its obsession with guns. MGS4 and MGS3, especially Naked Snake and Solid Snake, both really like look at their guns, the operator, like fetishistically. The M4 fetishistically, and my favorite gun in Metal Gear Solid 4, and it was so cool to see, is the XM8 assault rifle. Do you remember that one?
No, I'll look it up.
Yeah, look it up. You'll see what exactly it is. So for folks who don't know, the XM8 was actually an H&K produced assault rifle, and this was supposed to be the next generation Special Forces assault. Well, not even Special Forces, standard issue assault rifle.
Oh yeah, here it is. Okay.
Yep. For the military. That was going to replace the M16 and the M4, because the M16 was the standard issue rifle for the military throughout the Vietnam War, and then the M4 became it, and then so the XM8 was going to be the next generation replacement, and that never happened. But it appears all over MGS4, and so it reminds me of a time when a lot of video game manufacturers were like, oh man, the U.S. Army is getting this cool new gun. It looks so futuristic. We got to put it in all of our games.
Yeah. So
the XM8 actually shows up in a lot of other games, in particular the Ghost Recon series. Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter. That gun got a huge play in there. And in MGS4, all the members of the Rat Patrol, Meryl Silverberg's Rat Patrol, they all wield the XM8 too.
Cool. Yep. Yeah, Johnny in there.
Yeah, you got Johnny Akiba shitting his pants.
Yeah.
I definitely got to that part already.
Yeah, man, that's
funny. Like, oh my god, dude! Like we always, me and my friends always joke about, like, imagine the person who started the series on Metal Gear Solid 4.
Dude. Yeah.
And like all kinds of questions that they might have, including why is this soldier shitting his pants all the time? Why is this thing?
I think I had a write-in. I don't think we took it, but some guy said MGS4 was his first Metal Gear Solid game, and he had no idea what was happening, but he still loved it.
That's insane, but that's cool though.
Yeah.
I always encourage that. Just start whatever game you want to start with. Whatever. Who cares? If you want to start at MGS5 or MGS4, go for it. Whatever gets you into the series. And it sounds like it worked for that guy.
Yeah, it did. The only thing about 4 is it's literally the culmination of all of Metal Gear storylines. It's like everything coming together, so it'll kind of spoil the games for you, I guess, in some way. But if you don't care about that, like, whatever, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. MGS4 is the biggest spoiler in terms of the whole series.
It's in my opinion the end of the series.
It is the end of the series. It is the end of Snake's story, and that also what makes it kind of beautiful too, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think it has like the strongest ending in the entire series. Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah,
my god. Yeah,
what an ending! Holy moly,
dude! The ending is amazing. Like that's how I want to die. I'm not talking about like any main character dying, but like a character dies, and with a cigarette dangling off of his lips, and it's like, I want to smoke and die.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
It's good shit.
but yeah, it's such a good gun collectathon game. So it's just a lot of fun. The whole Drebin system, right?
Yeah, I love Drebin and his
But
monkey.
yeah. The
Diaper
Drebin system
monkey.
is awesome. Yeah, I don't think even Metal Gear Solid 5 has as much of an elaborate gun system and has as many guns as Metal Gear Solid 4 does. I think Guns of the Patriots is the most gun heavy Metal Gear game they've ever made, which is cool. Another reason why I decided to play it over the weekend, particularly yesterday, Sunday, we're recording this on Monday, but Sunday was the TGS showing of Death Stranding 2.
Right.
Kojima took the stage and he says, due to unforeseen circumstances, we can't announce the date of Death Stranding 2. And it sounds like he's struggling. So he actually didn't show a lot. But what we did get was a music video featuring Doll Man. The man who's a doll.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see the Death Stranding 2 shit?
No, I saw like the photo mode or whatever they talked about, but I didn't see this Doll Man thing.
The Doll Man thing is just goofy and fun, right? But the photo mode is really the highlight of the show. Man, Kojima is doing some black magic with Gorilla's Decimus engine. He collected all of his favorite girls into a studio, scanned them all, and then he's gonna give us the power to make them do, TikTok dances and like cutesy faces, and dance for us in the most realistic looking photo mode ever.
I want them to do like Norman Reedus. I want the boys also doing like their mewing faces and stuff like that. I want like ridiculous shit like that too.
Dude. George Miller, Guillermo del Toro, and Norman Reedus all doing Mew Mew faces,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You're right. If Kojima has grown and has matured as a person, because this is really funny, coming right after Snatcher, which is like his pervious fucking game, like Snatcher is like in Snatcher he's literally like peeping into a girl's shower, like he's being a sexual harasser, So it's really fascinating to see how much Kojima hasn't changed, but it would be applaudable if he applies the same pressure to the men. So that'd be cool. Yes.
He kind of did with like Norman Reedus in the shower.
Exactly.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, that was the funny thing. Like the horniest Death Stranding god for anybody was actually for Norman Reedus.
Yeah.
Like the camera will just demurely like look away from his cock. You
see his butt a little bit.
His butt is like, you can see his butt so often, but like they're like, oh, like you really want to see his cock, don't you? But we're not going to show it to you. We're not going to show it to you. It's like an OnlyFans tease or some shit like that, Like is. Jesus Christ, dude. But shit. The photo mode. It reminded me of the Beauty and the Beast, or whatever the fuck they're called, the B&B girls photo mode. There's a photo mode in MGS4 where all the bosses in the game are beautiful, beautiful supermodels. That's true. And they're all fucking scanned in. And then there's a photo mode where you can just make them like bend over and like crawl through the floor, and you just really just like put the camera like right up to their fucking coochie. It's insane.
Yeah, man.
So again, that's why like. I don't think he's really past MGS4. I think MGS4 is on his mind. Yeah. So that's why I'm playing MGS4, because it's like I think that there's hints there about the future too.
Yeah. I like that, dude. That's super funny.
Yeah. I don't know what else to say about MGS4.
Yeah. It's great. Let's see. Your boy Nikki V wrote in, "Hey, Decoy Coctopus Brad, Volcom Raven Jean, and Psycho Man Tits Gobbler Maddie.
Wow.
Dudes, how do you feel about MGS4, or how do you feel MGS4 compares to the rest of the franchise? I personally think it plays far better than the previous entries and has many of the series' emotional high points, but it also suffers from bizarre pacing after Act 2 and a few underwhelming plot points, especially the Liquid/Ocelot twist. Still, I feel like it's aged like a fine wine after the disappointment of 5 and basically represents the end of the franchise golden age. I'll take a goofy but fun plot over a non-existent one any day. Have a feeling old as fuck when you realize MGS4 was released 16 years ago kind of day, Nick. Whoa, yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, this is a fun question. I have a lot to say.
How do we rank MGS4 compared to the rest?
Ranking is tough.
Ranking is tough.
Wow. Okay, I'll just rank them real quick. MGS2, MGS3, MGS5, MGS1, MGS4. MGS4 is the worst one.
Damn. Okay. I'm going to do 1. MGS1's my favorite. Then I'll do 3.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'll do 4. Then I'll do 2. Then 5. I haven't played 2 in a long time, though, so I need to reevaluate that. But 5 is definitely my least favorite out of all of them.
Now, I have a lot of interesting things to say about 5.
5 is an interesting game. There's a lot to say about it.
Yeah. Oh, well, your boy Nikki V brings up a really, really interesting point, right? Because I do agree that MGS4 has aged like fine wine, especially after the story disappointment of 5, right? I completely agree with that. You know, MGS4 is a game that has all the answers, even answers that none of us even really needed, right? So it's just such a wealth of information, right? With 5, and I agree that I'm still disappointed in 5. There's so much potential in 5 that they even fucking tease with us in the director's cut, which is terrible. The whole fight with Sahelanthropus and everything.
Yeah.
Could have been amazing. But I've grown to appreciate 5 as a really interesting farewell parting gift from Kojima to the Metal Gear fans. Where he's like, I can't finish the story adequately, but at least let me give you a game where you can continuously play Metal Gear adventures however you like them. He's like, I've run out of time. I can't give you a game where you play as the boss, for example, right? Snake's mentor, right? We may never get the game that we've always wanted, which is really, let's play as the boss.
The boss in World War II.
World War II, right? That was a real fantasy, especially after Snake Eater. Man, that's the real prequel right there, right? What the fuck happened there?
Yeah.
But in Metal Gear 5, you can dress up as a boss. You can make the boss. And you can run around in the game and do CQC in a war zone and make believe yourself as the boss, just like Venom Snake is making himself believe that he is Big Boss.
Yeah.
You know? So the Metal Gear Solid 5 Phantom Pain is a game that gives the players the tools to live out the ultimate Metal Gear fantasy, because he can't finish it anyways, you know? So that's how I've grown to appreciate Metal Gear 5. He's like, I couldn't fucking finish the game, but here's a game that is so feature complete in the gameplay world that he's like, make your own story, you know? Make your own story. Sure. Become the boss. Become Big Boss. You know.
Yeah.
Become anyone. Become whoever you want to be in this Metal Gear world. You know?
Yeah, I think that's an interesting way to look at it.
Yeah. So that's how I've really, really grown to appreciate 5. Now with 4, I think the appreciation is obvious. The story moments,
right?
And everything like you said, it was a goofy but fun plot over a non-existent one any day. You know. Yeah. If I was going to choose between the stories between 4 and 5, it's absolutely 4. You know, 1,000%.
Yeah.
I only rank 5 because, and I really hope people know this. I don't really care about stories in video games that much. I don't. If the story is awesome, then I think it will elevate it and it'll make the game that much better. But if the story really, really sucks, but the gameplay is that good, then then I might even still consider that game better than the one with the better story. You know?
Sure. Yeah.
That's where I
get that 100%.
Yeah.
Let's see. Daniel J. wrote in, greetings, summoners. With Gene playing MGS4, I'm curious how we're feeling about how many cutscenes are in the game. I just played the game for the first time at the beginning of the year, and I really loved it. But one thing I went in dreading was the cutscenes, which I heard were insanely long and boring. But MIO, they felt natural for Metal Gear Solid, and they were really well made, so I was always invested in them. Even the epilogue cutscene, which is like an hour and a half long, was great, and I didn't really feel that long to me. But I'm curious to see how you guys feel about them. Keep up the great work, guys. Daniel, I'm kind of in the same boat as you. There are a lot of cutscenes in the game, but they are so well done that I'm enthralled by them as they're happening and stuff like that. And it is the end of Solid Snake's story and like Ocelot and all that kind of stuff. It is the culmination, so I was so invested in everything. So yeah, I loved it. Like all the cutscenes with Raiden and Vamp. Yeah, I was in it, man. I was so sucked in by that. Even the conversations, like cutscenes with Drebin, are so captivating.
Yeah,
that I just like soak it all up. I will make fun of Sunny though, making eggs or something like that.
that was when he said insanely long and boring. Really, the only cutscenes that I think were skippable and boring are the the egg making ones. That was that shit's weird and stupid. But I agree. Otherwise, well, here's the thing. I played the game fucking new in 2008. I bought the PS3 for Metal Gear Solid 4. Metal Gear Solid 4 was a console seller for me. So being exposed to that level of cutscenery that fresh in 2008 when I was 27 years old. It was insane. It's insane. You don't know what to make of it. I will never forget during that cutscene again, where Ocelot takes over the guns of the Patriots essentially, and he does the finger guns or whatever like that. That's when I made the cutscene. And I was like, I can't believe this is still going on. And I'll never forget again the ending cutscene, which is again an hour and a half long. Me and my buddy, my best friend, and my roommate at the time, Joey, we both beat it, and we're like, oh my god, we beat Metal Gear Solid 4. Time to enjoy the cutscene. Let's order a pizza. You know, we ordered a pizza, and then the pizza arrived. We ate the pizza, and the cutscene was still going. And we're just like, oh, we're like, dude, we just finished the whole pizza. We were super stoked too. So we're like, yo, we just finished the whole pizza, and the game's still going. Yeah, you know, like it was crazy. We're just like cheering the game on for just like being a cutscene the whole time. So that's awesome. I totally get it. I was cheering it the whole time. This is what we're here for, man.
Yeah, you know? That's what we're there for.
This is what we bought the game for. You know, Metal Gear fans, this is what we wanted. The whole reason why Metal Gear 5 was so disappointing in the first place was because the cutscenes weren't that long. You know?
Yeah.
And one of the most pivotal cutscenes in Phantom Pain was Snake just shutting the fuck up the whole time. What the fuck is going on, you know? So, yeah.
But yeah, Metal Gear Solid 4, shout out, dude. We'll get that Volume 2 collection someday.
Yep. So so Konami seems like they're trying to build this back up, but also like sell it twice, you know?
Yeah.
So, you know, it'll be cool to have Peace Walker, but man. Oh, another thing, Guns of the Patriots does not run well on the PS3.
No, it doesn't. No, it really doesn't.
It's cool because, man, do you remember the scene in Act 1? I think it's right after you actually get the operator, and Otacon in the Mark II gives you the pistol. Mm-hmm. And right after that, there's a whole street outside, and then Raven's birds are dive bombing a building in the background, and then you see the building crumble in the background. Like that, and the soldiers are fighting in the street, and then you see the dust and the debris from that broken building just rush toward the camera.
Yeah, that's so cool.
And over Snake, it's so cool. The atmosphere and the environment is so fucking awesome, and it goes like 12 frames per second, and that's how you know this game is cooking, because the PS3 can't even fucking handle it right now, because it's like Kojima is like, fuck the frame rate, you know. Everything else. I need people to see this, you know? That's vision right there, you know? Fuck performance.
That's truly, he's a visionary. Absolutely.
Yeah. But I really hope that they fix it for the new release.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Imagine if they just give us a ROM for the PS3 and that's it.
That's what I'm expecting, honestly. I'm expecting it just to be in the ROM of the PS3. Just be like, all right, I guess.
Yeah,
here we go.
But it's really cool. There's so much environmental detail, and it's just an amazing game.
Oh yeah. Okay, Gene, it's time for Sort It Out.
There sure is. I'm looking for one right now. So if you got one,
oh shit, Gene's ready to go.
No, I'm looking for one. So
okay, well, listeners, if you don't know, Sort It Out on this segment, we just talk about something in the game industry that needs sorting, something we're not too happy with. Could be a game, company, person, whatever. It could be any of those things that need a little work. It could be like a friendly sorted out too. It doesn't have to be malicious necessarily. But sorted outs. Let's see. Gene, do you have one or are you still looking?
I don't know. I think sorted out to gaming discourse. I think a lot of people are just really jumping on people's opinions. Over the weekend, Susie, my friend Susie, the 300, I'm wearing her shirt, so obviously I'm a fan. But she said I don't want to cover Silent Hill 2 remake. I'm a little disillusioned with remakes, and everyone jumped down and thrown. It's like, well, you like all the other remakes. It's like, yeah, that's what happens when you get disillusioned with something. You like something, and then you don't anymore. That happens.
Sure, yeah, I get it. If you want to take a break, just take a break.
Yeah, and especially since Horizon Zero Dawn just got remastered, so it's like, yeah, I think the atmosphere for remasters and remakes is a little heavy for some people. I get that, So yeah, sort it out. Let's just calm down. If someone that is not in the mood for a game, that doesn't mean that they need to be called hypocrite or what's wrong with you or something like that. Like, just fucking
what's wrong with you?
Yeah, like it's just like, all right, well, whatever. Just mute them and move on. Then if you think someone's annoying,
Yeah, totally.
Like that shit happened to me during the whole PS5 Pro thing. That fucking this fucking guy was like, oh, look at this guy suggesting to buy a PC instead of a PS5 Pro. But it's like, yeah, we're talking about fucking common sense here, man. Like, look at everyone else here. But some of us are targets. It's crazy,
Yeah.
I'm exhausted by it, man. I'm exhausted by it, and it's why I don't want to. It's why I don't want to engage on Twitter. I don't want to. I don't want to say an opinion on Twitter. I'm trying to save it for the podcast and for my articles now.
Yeah. I think that's like it's good to take a break like that every now and then. Just kind of refresh, recharge. Because like if you ever need to come back and just say something like that's what Twitter's for, you totally can. But sometimes you just don't want to.
Yeah. Well, it's just everyone just commenting and crap like that. And it's like, man.
Oh yeah, I mean, like I don't really get involved in any of that stuff on Twitter either.
You don't. You're good about that. Yeah, you actually.
Because I just know it's usually ridiculous. There's no point, kind of thing like that. But that's okay. It is what it is. But yeah, everyone calm down.
You're definitely good about not using Twitter that much. That's amazing. Like Dustin's really good about not using Twitter that much, even though he got into trouble with the whole Concord credits thing.
Oh yeah.
So, but yeah.
Well, you got an Asmongold video. You were on an Asmongold video.
I was on an Asmongold video. Yeah. Shout out to Asmongold. He was watching a video by Hiro Hey, who constantly talks about DEI and blah blah blah, all that stuff. But I actually watched him, and he was watching a video by Hiro Hey about the Ubisoft about making fun of Paul Tassi. about being confused in Concord, and I was annoyed because I was replying to Paul Tassi because Paul Tassi was like, wow, I can't believe the Concord numbers are so low, right, on Steam DB. And then I replied, yeah, it makes me wonder what something else is going on. And other people interpret it as that, like, look at Gene, he can't even, he's trying to defend Concord, he can't even understand why people don't like Concord. It's like, no, I think something was wrong with Steam DB. I was thinking maybe there's a bug in the Steam database because I've never seen fucking player counts this low. Like, this is historically low,
If listeners heard us talking about Concord right away, they would know Gene was not super jazzed about it right away. None of us were.
The whole time. And I'm one of the few reviewers who isn't saying, oh, well, Concord's technically good, though. And it's like, even fucking Chris Raycon was saying that shit, and I have to correct everybody. It's like, no, Concord is not a good game. There's a reason why nobody was playing the main mode, because the main mode sucks, But, anyways, Hiro Hey didn't say too much, thankfully, And then Asmongold was watching that, and Asmongold was like, oh, I know Gene. I like his takes. I follow him. He actually doesn't follow me on Twitter. But he thinks that he follows me on Twitter. He was like, oh, I like Gene. I was like, hey, shout out to Asmongold. All right. Because I've actually defended him before,
Yeah.
He said something about how the audience doesn't give a shit about AI, And people were like, look at him. He's so like pro AI. And I was like, I don't think he's saying that AI is great. I think he's saying the reality. I think some people just don't give a shit about AI,
Yeah, that's true. No. Some people don't.
Some people don't.
Locke wants him on Summon Sign badly. He's like trying to get Asmongold on.
Okay, let's go, man. I don't care.
Yeah, let's get Asmongold.
I'll hop on. I don't care.
Yeah, we'll get Asmongold on here.
Yeah,
I'll actually reach out
I
to
think
him.
he's a decent guy. I think he says things inelegantly, but don't we all? You know?
Yes, we all do.
Yeah, don't we all?
And
And
it's like,
I think he's just trying to say things bluntly, and that sucks to hear sometimes. You know?
sure.
So.
And it's like, I'm okay with talking to someone I don't agree with everything on. It's totally fine.
Yeah,
that's totally cool with me. As long as he's not like an asshole to us or whatever, then it's fine.
yeah.
But, dude, yeah, maybe I should reach out to him. Or maybe you should reach out to him because he knows you at least.
Because he follows me on Twitter and
he
he thinks I
follows
have
you,
decent
yeah.
takes. Yeah.
That'd be hilarious, dude.
Oh, well, I did. So after I saw that, I was like, okay, well, I'll follow you on Twitter, and he never followed me back. So I'm like, okay,
Damn.
well, yeah. So I might tweet at him, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. The Asmongold saga.
Yeah, but hey, you know, this is something to look forward to. So
yeah,
we might try for it. So
yeah, dude.
Yeah, let us know in the comments.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it'll be very civil about that. Asmongold, yay or nay on the show?
Yeah,
I'm just gonna tell you straight up. If he agrees to be on the show, he's gonna be on the show. That's just the way it's gonna be.
Totally, yeah, totally. And come on, you know.
Yeah. Sort it out.
You know, fucking Colin Moriarty owns the company. So, you know, who the fuck do you think we are? Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Dude, what do I have sorting out for, Gene? I don't know. I'm not offended about anything, I guess, right now. It's like, I could say sort out the Ubisoft for delaying Assassin's Creed.
Ubisoft is always there. Ubisoft.
I mean, yeah, they're struggling right now in general, but it's like they're delaying Assassin's Creed, but I honestly just don't care because I wasn't going to play it probably anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't really bother me. And in fact, the delay is probably going to help the game be better because they don't want another Star Wars situation, you know, where it's not up to snuff technically at launch.
Digital Foundry this morning was talking about like what could they possibly fix in 3 months, right? Because it really is only a 3-month delay from November to February, right? When you think about it,
it's just gotta be polished, I guess.
And yeah, it's like it's like they surmised or they theorized maybe there's some meme-worthy bugs in there, right?
Yeah,
like Assassin's Creed Unity.
I'm sure there is.
And it's like it is true, and they said this too, and it's interesting because yeah, I think it's true. A meme that really spreads far and wide will kill a game. You know.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
100% true, dude. You're right. Memes can kill games quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Think of I always think of Halo Infinite with the Craig.
Halo Infinite and Craig. You know. Of course, AC Unity. You know, of course, with the
the face
with the teeth and eyeballs. You know, that was huge. You know. That was huge.
That was
it's only gotten worse now. Memes have only gotten worse now, and they're so much easier to spread. You know, so
yeah, to just sort it out. Ubisoft, you're struggling right now. You got to do something, man. You gotta work that out.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this is from Matt Danger 87. What's up, summoners? Sorted out to gamers constantly knocking games for their length, almost to a person. When I see a gamer complaining about an 80 to or 100 hour game, they're either just posted their 7,000 social media posts of the week, or just finished 40 straight hours in their live service of choice. Having terrible time management skills isn't a developer issue.
Good energy. I like this energy. Good energy, Matt.
Good energy, dude.
Yeah, I like
good
it.
Energy.
You're a big hater, and I like it.
It's good. As a Rebirth defender, I like it. Good energy.
Mm-hmm.
It's too long. Mark M wrote in, "Hey boys."
yeah, and then they're all busy making memes and blah blah blah. It's like, you know, notice how you're doing all this shit and not playing the game. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey boys, I want to issue a quick sort it out to gamers unable to handle negative reviews. I get that there's a lot of hate out there, but it seems like even the mildest criticism of a popular game will be met with flat out denial. You're taking it too seriously. You're forcing yourself to hate the game. You're woke. You're anti-woke. Can't we all enjoy games, guys? Do gamers even like games? It gets a bit annoying. I love talking about games, good and bad, but people are so sensitive, especially for popular games like Astrobot, Elden Ring, God of War, etc. It's like a high Metacritic score will cause people to put their lives on the line for a video game.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you talk trash about Elden Ring, you're banned from this show, so be careful. I'm just kidding. You can make fun of Elden Ring. We do as well. Yeah, I mean, people just get invested about dumb shit all the time. All the time. I think about like you know the great shipping wars and all that, Gene, like in Final Fantasy
dude,
7.
dude.
Like
Yeah,
who? Like
yeah. A
why?
couple of my friends got like really, really heated during the whole FF7 Rebirth launch during the whole Aerith and Tifa
Yeah,
thing. It got really, really heated. It turned into harassment. It's crazy, man.
it's insane
What's
what people get invested in.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with people. I
Yeah,
think the pandemic really escalated things. I think it really
I
broke
agree.
people's brains.
I agree.
People don't know how to interact with each other. People don't know how to. People are so rude to each other all the time. You know, people just feel like they can just say whatever they want to people. It's crazy. You know?
Yeah, it is absolutely insane how rude people are so easily, so
hmm
quickly. That was
hmm
their first thing. But yeah,
Yeah. You don't even know me, man. Why are you talking to me like this? Because, I feel this way about Astrobot or whatever. It's crazy, you know?
yeah, it's insane. Yeah, you can't to have like a good conversation on the internet is very rare.
hmm
But I mean, it could happen, but I
Yeah.
don't go looking for it. I'll say that.
Yeah,
Thank God I have you guys.
I've been mostly lurking like people's Twitch chats instead like your
Sure.
Twitch chat or like my friend's Twitch chat to get my rocks off, in terms of video game opinions,
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, I was gonna say we have friends we can talk to at least, which helps.
Exactly. It's important to just make real friends,
Yeah,
in
real
real life.
friends, a real friend group you can talk to about games is the best way to go. Absolutely.
Yes, that is
If
that
you
is
can
the
do it.
healthiest way to go about it. Yeah.
All
Don't
right.
engage don't engage with strangers online anymore. I'm done.
Gene, keep it up time. Stuff we're pleased with, man. Who's doing well?
Um You know what? Yeah, we have a reader submission, but yeah, I guess to keep it up is it Balatro or Balatro? I don't know.
Balatro.
Balatro?
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, we can just read this email and
yeah,
we
let's do
can
it.
piggyback off it. This is
Yeah.
from Brian Borlog. Hey, gents, keep it up to Balatro. Just when I think I've had my fill of you and can move on, you drop on phones and consume my time once again. You're like a toxic lover, but instead of rewarding me with abuse, all you ask of me is my time and reward me with unlocking jokers. Yeah. And Gene's
hmm
holding up his phone with Balatro, the app on there. So
Bought it.
Gene, they got you too. They
Got
got
me
you.
too. So I actually did an interview with Local Thunk, the developer, last week, in celebration and time with the release of the mobile release. And that was really interesting. Go check it out on WashingtonPost.com. But we talked about the gaminess of it all. I was like, you seem to be someone who really, really appreciates video games as video games.
Mm-hmm.
So how does it feel that people are receiving your game so warmly and critically and possibly becoming the game of the year? And he says it means a lot to him. These are the kinds of games that I love the most, the ones with deep mechanics and systems. And he was like, I don't mean to throw other narrative games or cinematic adventures under the bus. They have mechanics and systems and present it in a completely different and attractive way. So he's
Mm-hmm.
definitely not even like throwing them down, but he just likes that so many people like the mechanics and systems of Balatro, and yeah, that's the most fascinating thing about it. It's I haven't gotten hooked onto it, but it's good. It's really, really
Yeah.
good. I totally get why it's good. The only reason why I haven't gotten hooked onto it is because I'm just not into card games, right?
Right.
But
That's like me.
exactly. But it's really, really fun. It's really, really addictive. I definitely get to a point where it's like, all right, well, I might as well just do one more run. Unlock another deck, unlock another Joker. The music is very hypnotic. So yeah, keep it up to Balatro. The mobile release, #1 paid game on iOS. Man,
Mm-hmm.
that former IT worker is rich as fuck
Yeah.
right now.
Dude, yeah, congrats, man. That's awesome.
Congrats to him.
How much is it? Like $5?
$10.
$10 on iOS? Okay.
$10.
That's
ten
awesome, dude.
bucks and #1 paid app on iOS. That's crazy. He just made
Yeah,
a lot
that's
of money.
crazy. He
He's
sure
already rich
did.
as fuck. Just by Steam alone. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
and he
awesome.
pushed it up pretty quick. That's pretty quick. I feel like that was faster than Vampire Survivors.
Yeah,
So
for a one-man developer, yeah, it's impressive.
yeah.
Yeah, keep it up, dude.
Yeah, and it just it fits so good on the phone just to be able to just drag a Joker or sell things like the UI is just it's perfect for phones. Perfect for phones.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to get on the phone.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, my keep it up is just game developers and publishers putting out demos again that carry over to the full release. Like Metaphor, ReFantazio, the demo is very long. I think it's like 5 hours long or something like that.
Mm.
It's just the beginning of the game, and it'll just carry over to the full release. So you get a nice taste of the game to let you know if you're into it or not. And I just really appreciate when devs do that, because you can get a lot of people in there who might have not otherwise given it a chance.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a free trial. So I love that kind of stuff. I love demos. I'm happy they've kind of come back in some ways, especially with like Square's been doing a lot of them too, which has been great. So yes, big fan of that kind of stuff. All right. This is from Dusty Meng or Dasty Meng. Greetings, you sloppy summonussies. I want to issue a strong keep it up to Jack. Yes, the one and only Gene Park's cat. That soft boy is a welcome addition to the LSM team, and I hope for continued wholesome Jack appearances for years to come. On the real, Gene, you are an absolute delight to listen to, and Jack is truly a special little guy. You two are so lucky to have each other, and I can only imagine how amazing of a companion he's been in your darkest days. Keep it up, you two. Heart emoji.
Oh, man. It's gonna make me tear up, but yeah. So for folks who see me on Twitter, the Park family has lost their first family cat, Sophie. So that was real rough, especially hard on my mom. You know, as you can imagine, she died of cancer. So as you can imagine, it's re-traumatizing for our family. You know, to lose a special child like that to cancer. So yeah, been spending a lot of days just holding Jack close. Jack is 5, and I hope he's right there. I hope to spend a lot more years with him. But yeah, definitely a special guy. Man. So Jack was with a friend of mine while I was sick. Like when I was getting treatment. Because it just would have been too much. And Jack's very affectionate, and I you know, I was going through things. I had a lot of tubes sticking on my body, basically, right? And Jack's very affectionate, so I don't want him to like fuck with the tubes that were sticking on my body. So he was with a friend of mine, and right before I went into surgery, I really was desperate to see him again. I was asking my friend like, "Hey, can I come over and see Jack?" Because I thought I was gonna die. I thought like, oh, if I'm gonna fucking die, I might as well just see Jack one more time, you know?
Yeah.
But I didn't get to see Jack one more time until afterwards. I'm still alive, and we're living a good life together. So
thank God. Yes, very happy to have you here, Gene.
Yeah. So thank you, Dastamang. That was a very sweet letter. I appreciate it.
Yes, very nice.
Yeah, Jack loves you too.
All right, Gene. I have been playing. This leads right into or tails off from my sort or keep it up. The Metaphor ReFantazio demo. So for anyone that doesn't know, this is the beginning of the game. It's the very beginning of the game. I believe they call it the prologue. But I think
I was wondering because I'm actually playing the full game. So please tell me what the demo actually covers. So I make sure
I haven't finished the demo, but
I heard the demo super long.
Yeah, it's literally just the beginning of the game. So it's like everything it's like the first 5 hours of the game or so. Like
okay, cool. So you probably play even more than I have too. So.
Yeah, I've played I think like 3.5 hours or close to that, something like that. No, but I got to a point where I was like, okay, I think I'm just gonna maybe just wait until the game's out now. I'm satisfied right now. But I think the game's great so far. I guess maybe no surprise to some people. It's a lot of the same Persona people. It's like the Persona 5 director and handling all that. But what's cool about it is, of course, it has some Persona trappings to it, but completely different setting. You know, you're not in a high school anymore. You're not in Tokyo, Japan or something like that. You're in this crazy fantasy world. And these characters you get with you are all crazy fantasy stuff. There's like dragons and stuff. So it's been a nice change of pace. And it's different enough, I think, from Persona to feel like it has shades of it, of course, but it's different enough on its own from what I've experienced so far. And one thing I've learned about that is this will be a good thing for some, maybe, but probably a bad thing for many is there's no romance options as far as I'm aware in the game.
Oh, thank you. I love it.
There's not a part of the game.
I fucking hate romance.
So yeah, some people hate it. Some people love it. It's not in the game as far as I'm aware.
Awesome.
So It's not there. But yeah, let me just say the demo. I have a sheet up real quick of some of the characters. But yeah, you play as this protagonist. Of course, you name them and all that stuff. I'm not sure if they have a canon name, but I've just named my guy Brad. But what's interesting about that, he looks almost like the Persona 3 protagonist, kind of. Mm-hmm. Except he has heterochromia and he has like one gold eye.
One gold eye, yeah.
But he actually talks in cutscenes and stuff like that, so that's different.
Does, yeah. I was surprised about that, yeah.
Yeah, he hasn't talked like a whole lot yet, but he actually like says sentences out loud and stuff like that.
And he has a fairy companion.
He has a fairy companion, yes. What's her name? Gallica. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I always want to say Galaga when I see her name because I think of the arcade game, but it's Gallica. She is her like fairy companion. Yeah, your Navi companion, essentially. She is on this journey with you. And she's kind of like, advises him and all that kind of stuff. But I'll just say like the brief cliff notes of the story is the game openings with an assassination on the current king of this kingdom. This bad guy, we're all assuming he is the bad guy and all this kind of stuff. And you were on a secret mission. I'm going to talk about like the first 3 hours of the game, okay, everybody? So if you're worried about that, just beware. But
it's a setup, guys. Come on.
Yeah, it's first 3 hours of the missions of the game. You were friends with a prince of this kingdom. His father was just recently killed, but the prince was cursed many years ago. And so you're out on a mission to cure the prince of this curse. He's like in a curse where he's like eternally slumbered and there's like thorns around him. It reminds me of Sleeping Beauty almost. Mm-hmm. But you were out on this mission to kill this person that did it. And that's like the main objective of the game so far right now. But at the beginning, it starts, you're on this tram, it gets attacked by bandits, you get out of there and you eventually reach the city. And the art direction of this game, fantastic. Super good. The music is really great too. It is the Persona music guy, but it's not like jazzy J-pop music or anything like that. It's like, no, this is like it's like his fantasy take on music. But
it's a fantasy game, yeah.
Yeah, the music's great though. Like the combat theme is really cool, dude. It's like some chanting like that. It's so intense. You get like hyped up during the fights. It's really good.
I love that.
Yeah, but it's not gonna be like your chill ass Persona music, but there's some chill music in it, but it's not.
It's like The Witcher, though, like
yeah, awesome, yeah, all that kind of stuff, yeah.
Or even like Nier Automata, like fucking any song with vocals in it. So that's what you get from like these guys too. Like you're gonna get awesome songs with awesome vocals in it,
Yeah. But eventually you get to the city, then you enroll yourself in the academy, this military academy, to help you get closer to your target, and you meet your first party member character, I guess. His name is Stroll. He is Have you played Persona 3, Gene? Okay. So you've played 5 though, and Ryuji is kind of. Have you played 4?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so Yosuke and Ryuji are they're your buds, they're your bros, but they're kind of goofy, kind of idiots though, but they're your pals. Mm-hmm. This guy, Stroll, is your pal. He's like your pal, but he's not like an idiot at all. He's not goofy like that. Mm-hmm. He's a very well-mannered aristocrat.
Member,
right? Yeah, he is. He's from like what's the word I'm looking for? Like a noble. He's like a nobleman essentially. Mm-hmm. And he is enlisting in the military also. He is seeking revenge for his town that was burned down many years ago, trying to get to the bottom of it. And he's the last surviving member of his house. So he teams up with you. He's great also. His name's Stroll. He's really good. He has like a sick, big, two-handed sword he wears on his back. He's awesome. And basically, you guys you're together, you get caught in an ambush with these kind of things that are called humans. Humans are like these crazy ass demons in this world. Mm-hmm. And they're just fucking everything up. A lot of cutscenes in the game. There's blood and stuff like that. And I was like, someone told me the game's actually rated T for teen. I was like shocked because there's quite a bit of blood actually.
Like people pretty violent like right away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, what's happening? Kind of thing.
Yeah.
But the cutscenes are great. There's a lot of them. But yeah, story premise, all that kind of stuff. You team up with this other guy later on who I really like. His name is Grius. He's like an old vet kind of military guy. He's awesome. He has an eye patch. He's sick. Awesome guy. But from a gameplay perspective, the game is very similar to what you expect from Persona in a lot of ways. Like it's turn-based combat, all that kind of stuff. You can get into run into guys, see them on the field. But what's interesting about this game is, depending on the level of the enemies you're fighting, you can always slash an enemy on the field to initiate combat. You can do like a couple combos, like a 1-2-3 hit kind of combo. And if the enemy is low level, they'll just die flat out. So you don't have to like actually get into a combat encounter with them. But if you get into guys that are higher level, you could still try to get a combo in on them, especially if you hit them from the back, you have a higher chance, and they'll take damage and you go into the fight with initiative. But you could, like, for instance, there's these snakes that are slithering around in this mine shaft kind of area. They looked really weird. They had like ball sack chins. It was very strange. Like ball sack chin snakes. But I would hit the guys trying to get them in the front, and they kind of had like a force field that I kind of had to break down first before I could actually hit them back down. So you can get a couple hits in, but they'll strike you back. And if sometimes, man, if you do not get the initiative and they hit you first, shit hits the fan. So you got to be real careful about all that stuff. Also, like in Persona games, everyone knows who's played like 3, 4, or 5. Your main character has his persona he starts with, but he can switch out new personas. That's like his main power kind of thing in Persona games. He can always do that. In this game, you get personas by making bonds with other people throughout the game. Like, let's see, with Stroll, you get a story moment, you get your bond, I guess your social link score, almost like that, and you unlock a new persona. You can unlock their class of a persona, which was the warrior. So you could equip the warrior type on yours if you want to. Another characters have the mage one, so you can equip that on your character as well. But you can do this for every party member. You could switch their personas for whoever one you want. So you can build out your party the exact way you want. You think it's basically like a job. You think of it as like a job system. You're changing their job. They get a new persona. They get some new abilities like that. So that has a lot more flexibility than I'm used to. Also, there's a back row and front row mechanic, which I think is fun because if you're in the back row, obviously you do less damage, but you take less damage as well. But what's really interesting, there was a boss fight I was fighting, and he only targeted the front row. And I moved a couple of them back because I wasn't exactly sure exactly what was going to happen. And he like hit the front row and did like a ton of damage. So I was like, oh shit. So I got to really pay attention to specific rows sometimes, maybe in some of these boss fights to see what they're attacking. So that was all really good. And there's a couple like stealth parts in the game. There was like this, I'm really curious to see what people did. There's this part in the game where there's a dragon sleeping, and they're saying, well, like maybe we can get some riches kind of around here if we try to go in there, or we could just try to sneak around there. And they're like, if we fight that dragon, we're fucking dead, essentially. So I was like, okay, I don't know how am I going to even get the treasure, and I feel like if I grab treasure, I'll get attacked by that dragon. So I'm just going to let it be, and I kind of snuck through there and got out of there. But I am curious to see like how deep that kind of stuff goes. But then, yeah, I got to this capital. This town is really nice town, nice inn. Learned a little more about some characters, and we're basically setting up an assassination attempt. And that's where I stopped playing, because I was like, well, I'm in this game. I'm in. I love it. It's fucking great. There's also there's pretty much the Velvet Room in the game. Also, it's called like an academia. It's called the Academia, I think.
Yeah,
there's a guy you go there, you talk to.
Igor is sexy now.
Yeah, it's like a new Igor guy. You talk to him.
Yeah,
what was his name?
He's like a Bishonen guy now.
Yeah, it seems like Moore or something like that. But yeah, he's there and he can teach you about all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, Moore. Yeah, but he's an attractive Raiden like man now.
Yeah, exactly. So anymore. There is some Persona trappings. Like there is a day kind of cycle. Like they're like, we have this many. We have to get to this day. Like the funeral is this day. It's 3 days away. We got to get there, kind of thing. And you have like a world map you kind of travel across. It was very like I didn't get a chance to kind of branch out and make my own paths necessarily yet. It's all very contained and directed so far early on in the game. But I have a feeling later on you're going to be able to really branch out and take do objectives in your whatever order you want. And the days are like Persona days. You know, you got the palace. We got to do the palace by this day. So there's something still like that in there, but I'm not exactly sure if it'll work the same. But with all that said, I'm very pleased with the game. I'm very happy. I can't wait to play more of it. It's been great so far. One bummer is you can definitely tell it's like a PS4 game. And some of the visuals, you're like, yeah, this is totally a PS4 game. But I guess I'm used to that Persona because Persona 5 was a PS3 game as well when it came
PS3
out.
game, guys. People forget that shit was on PS3, bro.
Yeah, in Japan. But it's just like, you can kind of see it carry over there. And it runs pretty good for the most part. I was playing on PS5, so yeah, I'm very happy with it. I'm looking forward to playing more. I'm very excited. Very, very excited indeed. So if you like Persona games, fantasy games, I would recommend it. Or at least try out the demo.
Not coming out for the Switch, is it?
No, I don't think so. But it's on everything else. It's on PC, it's on Xbox, it's on PlayStation.
I bet I'll.
So if you're curious about it, check out the demo.
Easily.
Yeah, Switch 2 for sure.
Easily.
Check it out. It's great. But Gene, you've played a tiny bit of it. What do you think so far?
I play way, way less than you because I just got the code for the full game. So, fortunately, I actually can't talk about any of it because I only played like maybe an hour and a half. I did not even get to the combat system. Because the game story really on-ramps you. That said, I'm really, really intrigued by the world.
Yeah, I think they do a good job. It is an intriguing world and story.
Yeah, even the map that's available is like super. It's definitely closer to like SMT, I think, than Persona, because Persona is just like all these little locations that you're visiting, right? You're not really you don't really have a map other than like the metaverse in Persona 5 or whatever, right? The dungeon map. But other than that, though, it looks like ReFantazio is going to be a proper JRPG with overworld and interesting like cities and fucking cool ships and really interesting like fantasy visuals. I'm really actually kind of excited for it. I'm actually excited for personified fantasy JRPG.
Yeah,
I didn't know anything about Metaphor ReFantazio before other than it was made by the Persona people before I actually started up. So I was really like surprised by just the mood of it, and I had no idea. I was going to fucking cover this game because I figured it was going to be 100 hours long because I was like, there's no way I can finish that game for a review, you know. And it's going to be a much more niche title, so I figure I can just enjoy it on my own. But yeah, I think you're right though. I think I'm just not going to play Persona 5. I think this is going to be more my speed. Actually, I think I'm glad that it's not in Japan anymore. It makes me more comfortable just using it in the English dub, for example.
Yeah, sure.
Because I had such huge problems with Persona 5 English dub, but also it's just a little bit more immersive. I just don't have a bunch of Japanese people talking English all the time. Now this is a proper fantasy game, so I can actually if they sound British, then that makes sense. So,
yeah.
Yeah, I'm really interested. Yes, like you said, shockingly violent. Did not expect the game to go that hard right away. But yeah, I'm gonna be playing more of it for sure. And again, I think my interest in it is the reason why I feel like I'm kind of clogged up in this fall. Because
I think
the game is just too big.
I think this game does a better job getting you invested in the story in the game right away. Also, than like Persona 5. I think it just kind of gets you in there a little quicker and Persona
5 in particular takes a long time to get going, right?
Yeah.
It really isn't until you realize that the gym teacher is fucking sexually assaulting students.
Yeah.
That you really have like a good motivation. But before that, though. But here, like the world is just interesting. Like you really just want to find out more about the world. It's a proper fantasy world. Like, hey, a new environment, that isn't Final Fantasy. Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
Bunch of different races and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and it's super racist. Yeah, this game is all about racism.
Racist.
Yeah, it's all like you get. Everyone is mega racist towards you at the beginning. It's really funny.
Because you're like, you would be like a human equivalent, I guess. You're not called a human, but they don't like you.
Yeah, it kind of brings back that Mass Effect feeling, like everyone in space is racist.
Hate Turians.
Yeah, hate Turians or hate, whatever, It's racism is good for fantasy stories,
Yeah,
and it's true, and it's funny because the game also has a parallel world, a modern world, right? And the game even talks about like, oh man, what a fantasy to live in like a world full of like cities.
And stuff. Yeah, his book. Yeah, he reads his book. And
Yeah.
it's like, it seems like our world is a
Hmm.
fantasy to them.
Yeah.
So it is interesting.
People who don't have any kind of class or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, sure, whatever, buddy. Fucking
Alrighty. Yeah.
loser.
Things are great over here. Okay. Fine. I think I'd rather be in the ReFantazio world where I can do cool things like wield my arms or whatever.
Yeah. All right. Let's see here. This is from Easy Icon. Sup, Summoners. With Metaphor only a couple of weeks away.
Hazy icon.
KZ Icon, you're right.
Mm.
I have intentions of checking out the demo, but I was wondering if I should grab the game day one, wait for Black Friday, or wait until we get the old Atlas re-release.
Oh, that's right. We are going to get the Metaphor ReFantazio Reloaded Plus version.
Yes, we are. Also, do you think Atlas should stop doing those re-releases, as now they will be getting more and more attention, and some may see this as being greedy? Thanks for all the content, and congrats to Mr. and Mrs. Maddie Plays. Yes, congrats to those two. All right, Gene. First of all, should he wait or buy this day one?
I don't know, man. It depends on how busy you are, you know. I was not going to buy this on day one. I was not going to. But because I got offered a review copy, I was like, yeah, sure, I should check this out. But I wasn't going to buy this on day one.
Yeah.
And I might have waited actually for the Metaphor ReFantazio Vengeance
Yeah.
edition, the one with the interesting, good quality of life, as well as the story content. That's tough, man. Did they ever say that they were going to stop doing this, or they were going to start doing expansions? No, they're just going to keep fucking doing this, huh?
They haven't said anything about it. I'm sure they will. The only thing is, with that version, you probably won't get it for 3 years, something like that, 3 or 2 years at least.
True, yeah.
So you're gonna have to wait a while. If you're fine waiting, sure, you can totally wait. But I'm buying this shit day one. This was my most anticipated game behind Rebirth, so I'm fucking locked in. I'm ready to go. But for you, yeah, it kind of depends if you got other stuff going on, if you got other stuff to play. Black Friday, I don't know, maybe you can save $10 maybe, $20 maybe. So it's up to you. But it definitely seems like a game for what I've played. You're going to get your bang for your buck. Big time on it. So keep that in mind. But yeah, Atlas, nickels and dimes with DLC like crazy. So get ready for that. All right, this is from Neo JD about Metaphor. This is for Brad and Maddie. Do you guys enjoy Metaphor so far more or less than Persona? Personally, I think the gameplay is still solid, but the setting, music, and characters drag this game down for me. I know we're still getting P6 later, but damn. Neo JD, I'm kind of the opposite, man. I'm very excited. I'm very happy it's a different setting. I love Persona. Don't get me wrong. I'm super into Persona. I can't wait for Persona 6. I'll be happy when you get it, but I'm very happy to get a new setting, new story, new vibe to the game. I think it's important, you know? So I'm personally jazzed to have something different in between, especially because it'll make Persona 6 hit even harder, having that nice break in there. But it sounds like you're on the same boat too, Gene.
I'm definitely happy that they moved away from Persona, especially since I wouldn't consider myself a big Persona fan. I'm not. I loved Persona 4. Persona 4 is definitely my first one, so please keep that in mind. You know, this is like saying, you know, oh, I love Final Fantasy 7, and Final Fantasy 7 was my first one, right? So I'm definitely well aware of that bias. But Persona 4 was a mind-blowing experience. It was a beautiful experience. And then when I played Persona 5, I wasn't into it that much. I'm still not into it that much. I don't like it as nearly as much as Persona 4. I don't like the characters as much. I don't like the story and premise as much. So it makes me wonder, maybe I don't really like the Persona format whatsoever. I hate romance. You know, I'm not a big fan of romance options, and I'm not a big fan of social links options either. I don't even really engage with that stuff in the Yakuza series too. You know.
Oh, okay.
That's how little I care for that kind of stuff. So for me, I'm really, really happy. I think Metaphor it's like they made Metaphor for people like me who do enjoy like the mechanics and like the aesthetics and like the, you know, and the writing of Persona. You know, I think Persona 5 is good, but it's taking me 8 years to play it. You know,
Yeah.
And I'm just not that eager to get back into it because
Yeah,
I'm
if
just
you're stopping like halfway through, it's like, man, I don't know if
yeah,
it's for
it's
you. I
yeah,
don't think it's just for you.
it's not pulling me. So I think
Yeah.
I'm definitely you're right. I think I should play Metaphor because I am more intrigued in what
Yeah.
happens in Metaphor than even the 50 hours I played in Persona 5 already. You know,
Yeah.
I don't care.
It's just
I kind of don't care what happens at the end of Persona 5. Now I understand that the ending is amazing and life changing. I keep hearing that all the time. So that's why I'm trying to get to that. You know, I want to see that for myself. I don't doubt you. I don't doubt anybody who says that. I believe you. But I just don't see that right now at this point. So
yeah, sure.
yeah,
All right. Well, there's Metaphor out, like we said earlier. Demo's out. Everyone can check it out on
yeah,
any platform except Switch right now. See you on Switch too, probably.
yeah.
Comes out soon.
I got it on Steam, so I've been playing on Steam Deck
You playing on
actually.
Steam? Nice.
Steam Deck, yeah.
I heard the Steam demo was not very good, like technically, but they were like patching it, I think, already. So we'll see.
Yeah, doesn't run amazing on Steam Deck, but it's fine. Whatever.
Yeah.
You know, again, it's a PS4 game, so
Yeah.
who cares?
All right, Gene. Warhammer Space Marine 2. You've been playing a little bit of this. We'll talk
A
about
little
it. I
bit.
have finished the game, so I can help you out if you need it.
Yeah, I played a couple hours of it. I played maybe like the first like 3 chapters or the 3 missions of it. Um, yeah, it's pretty much exactly what I expected and pretty much what everyone says. This really is it's incredible how we don't get games like this anymore. I don't understand, you know. Um, are people bored of it, or do developers not want to make a game like this? One that's simple with cool action, with that uses its control scheme really in really simple and basic ways, but obvious ways that makes things feel satisfying. I love the parry system and the amount of animations, the brutal animations that you get from it. I love that certain enemies will have a weak point and that you can just press the R trigger, shoot them at, and that'll expose them to a glory kill style R3 execution again with another beautiful animation. The way the combat system allows for those layers of interaction and violence and interactivity, you know. It becomes a little bit more than Gears of War because you're always thinking about getting those kills and that getting that quick kill, and you're aware of the parry, right? So it's like mixing Gears of War / Batman Arkham Asylum, right? / Doom 2016. And it's like, man, this is like this is a peanut butter and you know, I remember Cliff Bleszinski calling putting a gun and chainsaw together as a peanut butter and chocolate moment. And I think Space Marine 2 is that, at least in terms of gameplay systems, you know. It's just fun. It just feels really good. You know, the story. I've been seeing memes of oh, my husband fell asleep reading the Warhammer Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Uh,
yeah.
And my buddy Pat is getting deep into Warhammer lore. He never gave a shit about Warhammer lore, but after he played Space Marine 2, he started really going into it. And I get that because, my gosh, you know, the story starts out as like, oh, you were the Death Watch. And the story frames that as a punishment for you and as something that is valorous and admirable, right? And I'm like, that's fucking interesting. That's like getting out of jail here and everybody being like, oh shit, Gene, you just got out of jail?
Yeah.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah.
How long were you in jail for, man? Whoa, you know, like it's that kind of like vibe that makes me more it's good storytelling. It makes me intrigued. It makes me curious about what the fuck Death Watch is, you know? So I do look up the Death Watch Wikipedia and there's like this whole fucking history about it. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ. There is a lot of context to me being a former member of the Death Watch and now revived as a Space Marine, an Ultramarine.
Yeah,
know?
man.
For the Emperor, Brad. Right?
For the Emperor. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So yeah, I think I get it. I just been busy just playing a lot of games, so it just didn't take up too much of my time. But
yeah,
I bought it for $70. I'm playing on Xbox, just because I haven't played Xbox in forever, so I figure
Yeah,
And
sure.
I'm gonna be on the Xbox for Starfield Shattered Space. So I was like, oh, why not? I actually disconnected my Xbox Series X in the
Oh, for a
past few
while.
months. Yeah, for a
Yeah.
while because I got mad at Xbox. I didn't want to see that shit anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But Starfield's coming out, and it's been Tango GameWorks is not closed down anymore. So it's like, okay, maybe I can move on. You know. So I've been playing Space Marine 2 on Xbox, and
Okay.
I'm kind of intrigued in doing some co-op with some people. So I might hit up the boys and see what that's like.
Yeah.
But I'll
Yeah. Yeah.
definitely
Yeah.
try it out in single player first. I like the way it's very obvious that your buddies will become the co-op buddies, right?
Yeah.
So that's fun. But I'm also interested in, like, I think there's other layers of the co-op and multiplayer where you
Mm-hmm.
can level up your own way. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I also have the game on Steam too. I got a review code for that. So it's very cool to have crossplay with that. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it just seems like a good solid 7.5 out of 8 game so far. And kind of just kind of what we need more in the
Yeah.
industry. I don't understand why. I don't know. I don't want to like question like a developer's or artistic intent, and I don't want to like say like I don't want to tell them what to do. But I'm just surprised at more at how few of these types of games there are. Um, at least in the AAA or quadruple A space.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just elaborating on good ideas.
Yeah. I guess just because games take so long, I guess, a lot of times now. I don't know. It's hard for me to say as well, who's not a game developer. So I don't know,
Yeah,
man.
exactly. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, maybe a lot of people just don't want to make another Gears of War type style game, but
Yeah.
it's very simple. The template is right there, and it's forever fun,
Yeah. Even,
Um,
who is it? Who makes Gears of War now? I forgot. But
um,
even them, it's been a while since Gears 5.
yeah, even
So
them. The coalition, but yeah, they're
the
taking forever.
Coalition, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, they're taking forever. So yeah, maybe I guess it just takes long, but I mean, as far as I know, Space Marine 2 is not a long game either, right?
No, it's not. It's like
Yeah,
7 hours,
yeah,
maybe
7 hours.
less.
So it's like I'm already like a quarter of the way through the game.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Super
Um,
cool. Lot of enemies on screen. Definitely a game that makes you feel like, oh, this is what next gen is about, right?
yeah. When
Um,
you're seeing the tire, whatever they're called, the Zergs climbing up the
the
wall.
Tyranids or whatever,
The
right?
Tyranids, yeah.
Yeah, the
They're
Tyranids
climbing up the walls and stacking up. It's really cool.
all over the wall, swarming a battlefield, and then just holding a ground and just fighting them off. Really, really cool. It's really, really feels like you're fighting off a swarm. Again, it's like a Dead Rising moment. Dead Rising 1 was really the game that really made a lot of us feel like, hey, we're in the next generation now, man. Look at all these zombies in this ball, and there's 100 zombies that I can kill. You know, and we
Yeah.
haven't really had a game like that. And I think Space Marine 2 is another game where it's like, hey, here's another game that looks really impressive. It's going to blow your
Yeah.
socks off. It's cool. Good
Yeah.
shit.
It's a good time.
Mhm.
Let's see. This is from David Hasselhoff. To the gentleman of Jean's Goon Gaggle.
Love it.
If you played the original Space Marine, what do you think of the second game's more chopped up mission style? In the original, you're on the same planet for the entire game, and there is no inherent mission select in between them, where in the second game, you're constantly completing missions and going back to the battle barge to choose what to do next after a short cutscene. To me, this approach makes the story a little less impactful, engaging, and it makes the story feel a bit more disjointed. That being said, I love the game from start to finish and am having a blast completing the operations and playing Eternal War. I'm happy you're all well. Thanks for taking my question. Be well. For the Emperor. Um, so as someone, I have played the first game and I played it recently, pretty recently.
Mm.
And I think there is something to the idea of you are on this planet and you just kind of go the whole time. And I think there's something to that. But I think in the second game, they give you more time to kind of breathe with the situations that you're in and these like guys that are with you. And
Mm.
I think it just kind of was more effective for me in getting me interested in the actual story going around. because you do go back to base, you talk to your commanders, they like fill you in what's going on, and like Titus is talking about all that kind of stuff. And I think obviously they did the mission thing like this probably a lot of ways because it is co-op, so you want to be able to go back with your buddies or have somewhere where you can queue up with your friends and stuff like that.
The battle barge is the lobby, obviously, right?
Yeah, the battle barge is the lobby. Yeah, you can customize your Space Marine, so it's kind of like necessary for what they're doing. But from a story standpoint, I think it's been still pretty good. There is an appeal about, like I was saying, just going 100 miles an hour, just going straight to the next thing constantly, boom, 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 boom. But I think you get a lot more variety in the game. Like the first game was like all in one planet. It's like all big factory desert planet, and it's cool. It looks awesome. The design's great, but it does feel like you're at that one same place. And while in this game, you're going to different planets and stuff. You like start on the jungle planet, then you go to like the Space Marine planet with like huge giant cathedrals and everything. It's great. But it's all good. All right.
Yeah, how does Space Marine 1 age? Is it pretty good? Because I've been thinking about maybe I should play that game again.
It's
or maybe,
okay.
Not again, but I never played it, so yeah.
I think it's fine. It's playable. You'll play and you'll be like, oh, this is kind of rough in some ways, but you can have a good time. It's also short as well.
That's cool.
It's not as good.
It's a good action game, though, right?
Yeah. All
right.
Yeah.
I think I might even check it out before finishing 2. So
yeah, sure. It's on sale frequently on Steam.
Yeah. So I've been wanting to check that out, but it's like, Space Marine 2 looks cool, so I want to.
Yeah, Space Marine 2 is cool.
But now that I'm in Space Marine 2, I'm like, maybe I should go back to 1. When I
just finish 2 first. Just finish 2 first. If you're gonna play,
yeah, 2 is fun. I love parrying in that game. It always just feels so good.
Yeah, 1 has a lot of that kind of stuff too, but the parries, I don't think I had the parry in the first game. I'm trying to recall, but there's like the gore kills and all that kind of stuff like that.
Sure,
and the melee combat, switching between it.
Yeah, but just like being able to just grab an alien in the air, like
it's really
nice. really unique parry defense animations that just make things feel so much more cooler and brutal and more visceral. Good shit.
Definitely.
Shit. Bravo, Space Marine 2.
Yeah, bravo.
A real video game. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a real video game. All right, Gene, time for closing questions. Closing comments, questions.
Today. Yeah.
Well, there's only 2 lists, so. We will continue on. This is from the Clapture. Hello, Summoners. My question is for all 3 of you. With October nearly upon us, what horror games are you going to play? Will you be replaying any old horror games or any new ones this spooky season? I'll finally be playing Resident Evil Village. Thanks for the great podcast. You guys are the best. Well, we talked about, we're both going to be playing Silent Hill 2, the remake, so we'll be playing that. But yes, Gene, there's many horror games I need to play. One that people have been bothering me to play that I have not is Alien Isolation. And I know a lot of people like that one. The only thing I've heard about it is people say it's too long. So that's a bit of annoyance for me, but I will probably check it out. Any other horror games that you could think of, Gene, that you want to play?
Well, we do know that Alan Wake 2's The Lake House going to release sometime this month, because this is is there September 31st?
It's September 30th now.
But it'll be October tomorrow, or when this releases. So this month, October, Lake House will be releasing. So Alan Wake 2, I've been thinking about doing another playthrough of Alan Wake 2 again, just because it's a good game. It's my favorite game of 2023. So I think that might just be about it. I play Resident Evil once a month, so it doesn't even matter like what month it is. I'm always going to be playing Resident Evil. And I think the other horror game that I wanted to play is, there's 2 of them. There's one called Homebody, made by the Game Grumps. And Aaron Hansen gave me a code for that like when it launched, and I just never played it. So I should give that a shot. I do want to stream more, so I should try that. And Signalis, I never finished that one.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah.
Never finished it. Yeah. I started it, and I just wasn't in the mood for like a traditional survival. Sometimes you just got to be in the mood for that stuff.
I like
Crow
that game.
Like Crow Country, I haven't finished Crow Country either because I'm just not in the mood for these games right now. So, but I will be. in
I
October. So
liked Signalis, but I didn't like it nearly as much as everyone else did.
sure.
I thought it was good, but I was like, yeah, but it's still worth playing for sure.
Yeah.
I need to play also the GameCube. Why can't I think of what it's called? The GameCube game, Eternal
Darkness.
Darkness. Yeah, I need to play that because I've only played a little bit of it,
Hmm.
so I might make that one happen as well.
I did play it. I don't remember a goddamn thing other than it was trippy and it did Kojima like stuff, but I really don't remember anything from it. This was in my college days. So
yeah, and also I've been thinking about Condemned. I've never played it, so I know people loved those games.
Yeah,
so
the
maybe
first
I'll
one was good. Yeah.
check that out or something like that. But yeah, definitely want to check out some horror games. Yeah, what was that survival horror game that came out a couple years ago? From the Chilean developers.
Mm-hmm.
What was it called? Dude, I wish I was gonna recommend it to you if you haven't played it, but I can't remember what it's called now. It's been too long. Damn it! They're making a sequel now.
I have so I haven't signed any NDA with Silent Hill 2, so which is good because I've heard that Silent Hill 2 is just okay.
Just okay, sure.
It's okay. It's like a solid 6 or 7 out of 10.
Okay.
It's not good enough to shy away the haters. From what I hear, there's going to be plenty to hate in the game. So let's go. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. I can't wait.
The drama begins.
I do not like Bloober Team, and I was very, very skeptical of the Silent Hill 2 remake. I'm especially mad that Silent Hill 2 just isn't available on modern platforms like the original one. It should be. If it was, then I would not give a shit about this new remake whatsoever. Like, yeah, remake it whatever you want. Fucking make James hot. I don't care. It doesn't matter. As long as the original is available, then that's fine. But it makes it worse because I think Bob's vid said this on Twitter, but it's like you're not making a remake, you're making a replacement. And that sucks.
Yeah.
So, but it does feel like the Bloober was being stunted by Konami somehow. The marketing for Silent Hill 2 has gotten better. The trailers they're showing are more interesting. The gameplay things that they show do seem to capture a lot of the mood and the atmosphere of the game. So it's been interesting. And that's why I think a lot of the discourse around Silent Hill 2 has kind of turned around to people more vehemently defending the game. A fucking game they haven't even fucking played, which is so stupid. It's like, what the fuck happened here? Like, why the fuck are you so defensive about Silent Hill 2 all of a sudden? It doesn't make any sense. I thought we were all supposed to hate it. But like I said, I think that it'll be good. I think it'll be worse now, the discourse, because it's not an out and out bad game and it's not an out and out good game. It's just okay.
Got it.
So that's just going to make everything worse because there's going to be so much to hate and so much to defend. Ugh.
Yeah. Silent Hill 2.
So get excited for that this month, kids.
It's not like high stakes for me because I think Silent Hill 2 is good. I don't like it as nearly as much as everyone else, though. I don't see it like that. I think it's a good game, though. A great game.
When did you play it? When did you play it?
Well, when I played it when it came out back in the day.
Okay.
Then I replayed it this year. And I was always in the camp where I was like, well, Resident Evil is way better than Silent Hill.
Well, sure, yeah.
I was always in that camp. But I respect what Silent Hill does, and I think it's cool and unique. I don't like as much as many people do personally, so it's not high stakes for me.
Yeah, the gameplay fucking sucks, and that's the issue with Silent Hill, is that it was always about the writing and never about the gameplay. Resident Evil has gameplay systems that persists throughout the story. It has a unique characteristic to how the pacing and the gameplay actually works. Silent Hill didn't have any of that fucking shit. It was just another horror game with a shitty camera and a shitty combat system and really excellent writing.
Yeah.
So that's why Silent Hill has struggled for years. That's why there's only 3 good games in the Silent Hill series. It's the first 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because there's just nothing mechanically there's no hook to Silent Hill. There's no hook. There's nothing.
That's true.
So that's why I'm like, the IP just needs to die. You know, it's over
It
with.
needed to be reinvented like Kojima was doing.
Yeah. It needed to be absolutely reinvented like what Kojima was doing. But if you're just going to be trying to retread or recapture the magic of Silent Hill 2, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Silent Hill 2 was a lightning in the bottle, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It only was that good because it came out at that time and it was that good in the writing. That's it. Yeah.
All right. This is from Joshua Smith. Hey guys, just wondering, what are some game franchises that you think ended before their time? Two come to mind for me: The Darkness and Condemned: Criminal Origins. While both of these games did receive a sequel, they left off on a cliffhanger, and due to poor sales, they never received the finales they deserved. So, what are some games you think ended before their time and would maybe like to see revived at some point? I got a couple in mind. So, I would like to see new Okami. I think it has
Mm-hmm.
potential still. That I think that IP has potential. Of course, we had the first one on PS2 that was ported to Wii and a bunch of other stuff later on. Then we had Okamiden on DS. But I always felt like they could have done one more main big Okami game. I feel like they could have had it on there. Another game series that has two entries that I think I was kind of hoping we would get one more of is Dark Cloud. I think Dark
Mm-hmm.
Cloud 1 is great. Dark Cloud 2 really elevates it in a lot of ways. And I think Dark Cloud 3 could have been something really special if they made it. Because it's like, man, at that time, Level 5 was cooking hard in the PS2 era. They were crushing it with Dragon Quest 8, Dark Cloud, all that kind of stuff. They're just doing good work then. But I don't know. Probably never going to get it again. But we did get one in the Astrobot. We got a Dark Cloud kid, whatever his name was again. So that was nice. Gene, what about you?
This is going to be a real pull, but Advent Rising
Advent Rising. Okay.
for the original Xbox. Did you ever play that one?
No.
It was a game written by Orson Scott Card and composed by Tommy Tallarico. And the score goes so hard. I know Tommy Tallarico is a meme and we all hate his ass, but man, he cooked for the soundtrack. Look up the
Really?
song Muse, Advent Rising. It's so fucking epic. Advent Rising is an alien game, alien invasion game, a third-person action adventure game where you get psychic powers. You can you do max pain dives, shooting alien guns, but you can also jump onto an alien's neck and just fucking snap their neck and do crazy cool melee stuff.
Sick.
And the game was most famous for having a contest, a sweepstakes on the fucking cover where you're going to win like $1 million or whatever.
Oh, what?
And nobody won that money, I think.
Oh, no. That's so funny.
Uh, and the whole thing was supposed to be a whole epic saga. It was supposed to be a whole trilogy. The game ends in a fucking cliffhanger and everything like that. And the game didn't sell well enough. Nobody fucking bought the game enough to have that sweepstakes be a thing. And it just died. It's just a dead IP. But I never forgot it because I thought it was so cool because you can do shit like fly around. I can do a max pain dive into another enemy, just like climb up him, snap his neck, and while the enemy is going down, like dead, like crumbling to the floor, you're still holding on to the enemy because a lot of the aliens are very tall. You're still holding on to the enemy, and you can target to another enemy and shoot them as the person that
Ooh.
you just killed is like falling down. It's so sick. It's so
Yeah,
sick
that's
and
awesome. Damn.
very dynamic for a game for its time. And the game came out in like what fucking year 2005? Yeah, 2005.
Yeah.
So pretty ahead of its
Oh,
time. No one played it, but yeah, Advent Rising. Shout out.
I got one more
Mm.
for my boy, Mike Huber. Shenmue. Get
Oh
Shenmue
yeah. Oh
4
come on, dude.
going. Shenmue 3 wasn't great, but at least
Did I tell
finished the
you?
story.
Did I tell you that I paid $250 for the
Yeah.
Kickstarter for
Yeah.
Shenmue 3, so I can have my name in the credits.
That's so cool, dude.
And I never beat the game to see my name in the credits because
Damn.
the game fucking sucks.
Yeah, it's not great.
The game was abysmal. It was heartbreaking. Shenmue is the biggest heartbreak for sure for me.
Shenmue, dude. Yeah, gotta finish that story, man.
Yeah,
Yu
gotta
Suzuki,
find one.
yes. What did he say? He wanted like 7 games or some shit, or 8
Yeah,
games. I don't remember what he
just
said.
write. Just give us a script, man. Just
Yeah,
fuck it, dude. I don't care.
yeah.
Just let me find out how we find Landi.
How it ends.
Uh, yeah,
Yeah, man.
I
Shenmue
didn't want to
fans.
mention Shenmue because it's too heartbreaking, but Shenmue is definitely the top of the one. Oh, another series, Psyops, the MindGeek
Oh,
conspiracy.
psyops. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. It's just Psyops again. Why aren't people just taking these ideas and just stealing them? These are awesome ideas. But Advent Rising also had an element of Psyops too. He also has telekinetic powers. The fucking game tried to do everything.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I loved it for it. It even had like combat, like vehicle combat, dude. There's literally like a car combat section, and you can
Oh,
like
man.
run around that shit like it's a warthog or something. It's interesting. It's cool.
That's crazy. Yeah. What the
Yeah,
fuck?
and I think it's backwards compatible on Xbox Series. I think you can actually still play it today.
Oh, whoa. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
All
give it
right,
a
then.
shot, guys.
All right. This is from Throat Clogger.
Oh god, what the
Oh,
fuck,
boy.
dude?
Hey, Summoners.
Come
What is
on,
a video
man.
game franchise you wish another developer made instead? For example, I think the idea of Watch Dogs is great, but Ubisoft completely fumbled it. Imagine if Rockstar originally created Watch Dogs and how awesome that could have been. What comes to mind for you guys? All right, so different developer making a game.
I don't know, every Nintendo IP. The Ace Combat folks should make a new Star Fox.
Ooh, yes, Gene. That's the
Yes,
correct answer. That is
yes.
right on the money, my friend.
I think that's the only correct answer. But yeah, give the Bandai Namco, the Team Angels or the Ace Combat team Star Fox. Just make them make Star Fox. They already
Mm-hmm.
make Star Fox games already with Ace Combat. And for folks who don't know, Ace Combat is not the Microsoft flight simulator of fighter jets, or it's not even the Gran Turismo of fighter jets. It is basically Star Fox or Star Wars. It is a fighter jet fantasy game.
Yeah, it's like Jets and Metal Gear.
Jets and Metal Gear, so you can easily and they do combat dialogue really well. And Star Fox, just get
Yeah.
just give Falco some awesome dialogue, and then vaguely racist, make them
Yeah.
sound vaguely racist, bunny rabbits, and yeah, we're cooking with gas there, man. Come on.
Yeah, man. Wow. I feel like a lot of these games I'm just thinking about like open world games. I'm like, oh yeah, if Rockstar just made it, probably would have been really cool. But it also would have taken 10 years.
Yeah, we would just never get the game. Yeah, we just never get another game at Rockstar.
Yeah. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, like a Star Wars Outlaws made by Rockstar. You
Yeah.
know, that would be a next level thing. But we got Ubisoft instead making it. That's the best. That's the best
Yeah.
we got.
Yeah. What if like From Software they made Zelda? They made Tears of the Kingdom or whatever.
Yeah.
They made it though.
Yeah.
Like, whatever
Because that's
weird shit they would do.
because that's the thing. Elden Ring did solve the problem of having an open world dungeons.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what was so disappointing about Tears of the Kingdom. It's like, man, like it came after Elden Ring, and they did try, but it's like I really hope they look at Elden Ring and be like, yeah, we could have done that.
Yeah. And it's like not even, I think Elden Ring, their version would have been better necessarily. It would have been maybe stronger in some other ways, but I don't know if
Yeah, but we get some good
I
fucking
don't know if they
dungeons
would
from it.
have I don't know if they would have had the crazy chops of like the construction and the ultra hand and all the
Yep.
fucking teleporting through the roof, all that really fun gameplay stuff. I don't think they would have done that.
No, but they would have made some badass dungeons.
Yeah, they would have made some badass dungeons, probably. Yeah, you're right.
What was the castle called in Shadow of the Erdtree? Was it just called a Shadow Castle? Shadow Keep.
Oh,
Shadow Keep.
yeah, Shadowkeep. Yeah,
Shadow
man.
Keep was basically a Zelda dungeon.
Yeah, it's like Ganon's
with,
castle.
with the water levels rising and falling, and the way you have to like configure what the dungeon looks like. Those are always the best dungeons, I think, in Zelda.
Mhm.
When the fucking dungeon itself changes because you were there,
Mhm.
that shit is so sick. And Twilight Princess had that in spades.
Yeah, it is.
Twilight
Sure
Princess.
does.
Yeah, Twilight Princess is not the best in the series, but it has the best fucking dungeons in the series. That's for
That's great
goddamn sure.
dungeons. Yeah, I
Easily.
love them.
Yeah.
All right, this is from Nevitz. Hello, gentlemen. On a whim, I decided to dive into the game Sin and Punishment on the N64 Nintendo Switch Online. To my surprise, it transported me back to the launch day of the Sega Dreamcast. Although it's an N64 title, the game felt reminiscent of classic Dreamcast experiences. The music, graphics, explosive effects, and of course the infamous voice acting, with characters speaking over one another, really hit home. It truly took me back. Have you played a game late that brought you back to a cherished gaming era? Thanks and keep on gaming. You played a game late that brought you back to a
Space
cherished
Marine 2,
era.
obviously, in Gears of War, right?
Yeah.
And Astrobot for many obvious reasons. I will say, and I mentioned this on Twitter, Death Stranding reminds me of this old PS1 game called Tale of the Sun.
Tale of the Sun?
Yeah.
And
it was made by I forget the developer's name, but it was a very, very experimental game where you just fucking cavemen at the dawn of humanity, and you wandered Earth, and
whoa.
yeah, and you just kind of walk around, and you're collecting fruits and shit, and you're hunting mammoths.
Yeah, he's like punching a bear here.
Yep. And Death Stranding really, really reminded me of it, because Death Stranding, you're not obviously you're at the end of humanity, right? In Death Stranding, and yet you're wandering the Earth, just picking shit up and everything,
Yeah.
And so I really think Kojima really tapped into and that's why I like Death Stranding. It really does feel like a solid PlayStation game, because PlayStation games are unique and experimental. Vincent Giannino in the Sacred Symbols Plus recently with Colin, where they had they had a discussion about what games might be appearing on Astrobot. I haven't listened to the whole episode, but I did listen to the beginning, and Vince had a very astute thing to say, where Nintendo games feel like they're made for everyone, right? But PlayStation 1 games in particular always felt like that they were made for you or a specific type of person. And that's what I always felt. That's what Death Stranding feels like, Death Stranding is one of the recent few games, and I think not a lot of people talk about this, but Death Stranding feels like a real PlayStation 1 game.
Yeah. Made for you, not for everyone.
Made for me. Just made for me. Yeah. Kojima made this for a few people. Yeah.
Totally, man. I don't know. Like, it's when I play like any old games or a lot of old games, I can reminisce about being like I played Ocarina of Time recently. I went through it again. When I'm playing it, I like remember exactly where I was when I first played it. I remember a lot of my first experiences with the game still. So it definitely takes me back to that area. I played Ape Escape a couple years ago, I think, for the first time. And it definitely put me in that PS1 platformer mind space. It's like, whoa, this is crazy. We've come so far. But yeah, anytime I play a lot of old games, I usually put myself back in that headspace, which is a lot of fun. And honestly makes it more enjoyable for me.
Yeah, it's kind of like reliving your past. That's what I'm going through right now with MGS4. That game came out in 2008. I was 27. 27 was at the peak of my party era. This was when I was craziest. But I still found time to get away from the clubs and play MGS4.
Yeah, had to see Snake's journey to the end.
Yeah, but yeah, and again, I play with my bud, so it really takes me back. I'm holding the 6-axe DualShock 3, and it's like, man, it really takes me back to when this was exciting and new, And even playing Uncharted 3 or Uncharted 2, Damn.
Yeah, dude.
PS3 definitely was a mood. PS3 definitely was a mood.
It was, for sure. Yeah. All right, final question from Robot Booty. Hey, legends. Brad, you have an excellent knack for making sure great games don't get overlooked. I've gone back to play Death Stranding, Tropical Freeze, and I think I'm going to try Metaphor ReFantazio, all based on your enthusiasm. I tried Dishonored 2, but struggled a bit with the frame rates. Maybe I just need to spend more time in there to adjust my eyes a bit. Question for the entire panel. What's one game that is of the relatively current era that you think should be played and may have been overlooked. Love what you're all doing. Keep the hands steady and the claims heavy. Cheers. All right. So, what's one game of the relatively current era that you think should be played by many that
I got
may
two
have been
games.
overlooked by many?
I got two games.
Okay.
One game I've talked about a lot, and Jake Baldino actually has a video about it. I think last year or 2 years ago. Mad Max.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Mad Max, made by Avalanche Studios or whatever. Overlooked because it was released on the same day as Metal Gear Solid 5: Phantom Pain.
Ooh.
The game that got 10 out of 10 from IGN.
Yeah.
Man, the reviews for Metal Gear Solid 5 were crazy though. I know I was just like glazing Metal Gear Solid 5 a couple minutes ago, but if you read the reviews for Phantom Pain, they were off the charts. They were like, this is the next generation. This is a peak of art right here. It's just like, okay, guys, calm down. But Mad Max came out. It is a solid open world game. Imagine Arkham Asylum, except that you're Mad Max, and instead of just punching dudes, you're fucking killing them. It's so sick. The car combat. Did you ever play Mad Max?
No, I haven't.
Oh, dude. The Fury Road car chases, they're in the game. You can do that.
That's cool.
You know? And there are different instances of they're basically caravans that run around in a circle, and you have to drive up to them, and you see them as a cloud, and you're just like, fuck, you know. And then, so you have to like choose to drive up to them, drive up alongside them, and just fuck their shit up with your fucking car, you know. And you can upgrade your car to having a spear gun and spikes on the roof. So when the other war boys are trying to jump onto your car, you can't jump on, man. I got spikes. You're about to stab yourself. You know, super fun.
That's awesome.
And the other game would be Astral Chain for the Nintendo Switch by Platinum Games. Yeah. That's going to be like the god hand of this generation. You know, no one played it, but it's very, very innovative. It really, really did something different in terms of the character action, in terms of really, really making you feel like that you're actually controlling two people instead of one. Really, really interesting combat system. Some bad levels, which so I don't think it's a great game because some of the levels require platforming, and it's not a game where you can jump. so yeah, so you got to throw your Astral Chain monster over to the platform, and then the character. It's very, very cumbersome, awful. I have no idea what the fuck they were thinking when they made that shit, but otherwise, really, really cool game, and vastly, vastly overlooked. I doubt it's going to be upgraded to the Switch too, because nobody fucking bought that game. And Rebirth, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, a very vastly overlooked game. You should play that game. Yeah, nobody's buying that game, so you should buy that game.
Buy that game. Do yourself a favor and buy it. You owe it to yourself. Well, you did nail a lot of my kind of things I said people should play, which was Dishonored 2. Trying to think so I haven't finished this yet, but I think it's a very special game for what I've played of it. Is Unicorn Overlord. I played about 8 hours of it so far, and I had to stop just because other stuff came out. But it was an awesome strategy little game. I really liked it a lot. Cool characters, actually. I was into the story. Just a cool little vanilla, like most Vanillaware games. I'm like, please play these. Like, I love Dragon's Crown. Dragon's Crown you can get for like $3, $4 all the time on PSN or whatever. Dragon's Crown is such a sick beat 'em up with like progression, long-term progression, all that kind of stuff. So please check those games out if you got the time. And also one just small JRPG I recommend was Chained Echoes. This game came out a couple years ago at the end of the year and kind of got overshadowed by a lot of stuff. But I think it's a really good or great JRPG. It was one of the better old school inspired Japanese role-playing games I'd played in a long time. So that game's also really awesome. It was on Game Pass. I don't know if it is anymore, but check it out. It's a really sick game. And of course, my eternal shout out to Puppeteer on PS3, Studio Japan, platformer game. Was $40 when it came out as a discount price. None of you motherfuckers bought it, and I'm sad because that game is cool. Moonbear King, awesome villain. Shout out Puppeteer. Rest in peace, though. All right, Gene, that's it, dude. We're done, man. We've done it again.
Good
another
chat.
duo, another duo episode. You and me just did one last week. That was a duo only episode. Now we're back again.
Was it summon sign again? No, right?
No, it was punching up.
Punching up, right? But yeah, we did a summon sign. It was just
we did a summon sign in the past. There's been 2 summon signs where it's just been now 3 where it's just been 2 people, and 2 out of the 3 have been you, and the only other one was with Colin.
Well, it's a good thing that we're the only 2 people in the network that plays video games. Right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
We are the only 2. That's true.
We really are, I think, the only 2 people that actually plays video games in this whole network. You know? Like, Colin is just sitting there watching YouTube videos and like following along to what the game is doing, right? Chris just plays Halo and Destiny.
He played Astrobot.
Yeah. You know, and I don't know.
Yeah, we're just fucking around.
Yeah,
we're just fucking around, everybody.
I was thinking about Mr. Matty Plays, but his name is literally Mr. Matty Plays.
Yeah, Mr. Matty Plays. Yeah.
Mr. Matty Plays. He's actually playing shit too. So.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Matty couldn't be here. Hopefully I'll get him in the next episode when he's feeling better. But I'll get that son of a bitch back on this show. He can't hide from me.
Yeah, I was actually just with him on Constellation, so I'm actually kind of glad that he wasn't on here because it's like I don't know what we were talking about. We talked a lot. We talked a lot on Constellation, which is out today on Monday. So
okay, yeah, we'll check that out.
It was a good one. Cool. It was a funny one. And we had, my topic was Ubisoft, where we just talked all about our issues with Ubisoft, our history with Ubisoft. You know, because I've been a long-time Ubisoft player. So
yeah. Cool, Gene. We're done, man. Anything you want to say before we leave, or should we just get the hell out of here?
Nope, let's just get the hell out of here. I'm tired.
All right. We will see you guys all next episode. Take care, everyone. Have a good one. Goodbye.
Adios.
Summon Sign is a product of Last Stand Media and Colin's Last Stand LLC and is proudly recorded in the USA. The show is written and hosted by me, Brad Ellis. The show is produced by Dustin Furman. All of Last Stand's theme music is by Ramon Narvaez. Summon Sign, along with the rest of Last Stand's media shows, are fan-funded on Patreon at patreon.com/laststandmedia. The following names are at the producer level on Patreon, our highest tier, and we are grateful for your kind contribution and generosity to our independent endeavor. Thank you.